Oops, that's what I forgot to do. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get rid of that. It's back to the Sunday night races here at AK Racing, brought to you by SimSational TV, which is me, myself, Chris Munro, and to my left, Zach O'Reilly, joining us again, as always, in the commentary box. We're up for a big one tonight. It's Enduro round, Zach.
It's Enduro round. We've got 45 minutes of these guys going out very shortly, the Tier 2 races, and then we've got the 2-hour special for the Tier 1s, Christopher. And what better place to be, rather than what the title says. We are at the Bend, and that is going to be an absolute rip snorter tonight. We're going to see trials and tribulations of strategies, and we're going to see a hardcore race to the finish in both of them. I'm predicting it early. We have got a photo finish for the top three in whichever one they are. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, that's right. It's all comes down to the strategy play in an enduro. We'll be harping on about that later on, because the main game will be going to be out there for 2 hours. So there'll be a fair few pit stops, especially around a track like the Bend, where it is not so easy on the tyre. So there'll be a few bits of rubber out there screaming for mercy by the end of it. That will be for sure. But let's have a quick look, because first up, it is the Tier 2 lads and lasses out there at the moment, warming up, getting ready for their start. So we're going to check out the standings on their championship here, and it's Mr. Schmerl for OnlyFans Racing up at the top, 50 points clear of Justin Fowlers for TDB Racing. Steve Warwick up there with Turbo Motorsport, with Braden Moore up there with 10K Racing. It's good to see that name up so high on a leaderboard somewhere. Dax Daniel up there as well in the top 5. Luke Brock follows him with Hayden Wallace. Bill, the 10K man, Cosmoricus, the team principal there at 10K Racing. Jojo Higgins in 9th position. That's an American person. So there's a few Aussies that need to kick them off the top off the top 10, I'm sure, just for Patriots' sake there. And Jim Park down in 10th position.
Yeah, definitely. And Joel Ashak's going to come back through the field here and claw his way through tonight. So that's going to be good to see him. Clayton Waters as well in the mix in 12th place. Richard King's doing pretty good for King Racing. Nick Evans, a debutant to the season as well, doing great inside the top 20. And Michael Mamone just sort of sticking around whenever he wants to in 15th. Gary Postlethwaite 16th. Johnny Singleton from AC Karting. Boy, he could be up in the top 10 if he just wasn't caught up in so many incidents. Matthias Falzon, we saw last round at Hidden Valley, smash everyone by a minute, nearly collectively in 18th, but a no-show tonight. So that's going to be very interesting for Sam Spencer, who also was up there on debut, just came through and took a couple of podiums in 19th. And Gray Ward rounds out that 20th on the Tier 2 standings, Christopher. It's going to be very interesting for sure by the time we get racing, where these guys are going to be overall on the pace, because the grid was split this week, and we'll be able to see that when they get onto the grid, how far and close these guys were to each other in the grand scheme of things. This is the Tier 1, by the way, just having a circulate around. They've got another 45, nearly 50 minutes before they're out on the track. So a little bit of time for them, but nonetheless, the time is now, and it is ready, because qualifying is done for the Tier 2s, which means they are ready to go racing, Christopher Munro. So I reckon it is about time that you viewers at home get yourselves strapped in, Christopher, you also, and get ready to rock and roll, because Tier 2 is about to start.
Let's go. Let's go racing and check out the format for tonight. As we said earlier, gents, it is Tailem Bend tonight for the Enduro round. It's 18 turns of winding goodness up and down. It's a cracking circuit, to be honest. Just lacks in the way of visuals for the races at home. It's just absolutely flat nothingness in between the paddock there and the rest of the circuit. So 4.95 kilometres too. It's a fairly long one with an 11-minute quali coming up, so that is cutthroat around an almost 2-minute lap. So that will certainly separate the top tier guys from the rest when we get to that situation. But the Tier 2 race is coming up next. It will be a 45-minute challenge with a mandatory compound change, and I think there'll be certainly a mandatory pit stop, as I don't think you can go that long on a tank of fuel. But the Tier 1 race, as we said earlier, is going to be 2 hours long, so keep an eye out for that. The fastest man on circuit this week was Mr. Daniel Cycluna with a 151 flat. That's pretty quick from memory. I don't know if anyone's going to beat that. He's probably actually has beaten that by 7 thousandths in the practice server right now. So certainly right on the ragged edge there of grip and adhesion. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, after a few little server issues. We apologise about that, but the good thing is everything is now sorted and we are imminently away for some Tier 2 action.
Definitely ready to rumble, ready to rock and roll, ready to get racing, as we always do here at AK Racing, believe it or not. That's what the name suggests.
That's what we do best.
That's what we do best at SimSational TV, call it. And I'll tell you what, when we're at sunrise here at the Bend, there is no better time to hear these V8s rumble their way into the absolute sunrise here at South Australia. And what a place. We've got Glenn Morris off the front row. Sam Spencer is not able to join the server for whatever reason, cannot get him in. Steve Warwick and Braden Schmerl are going to be off the second row to each other. Rick Banachek, wow, what a drive from him. Gets 5th overall. Lee Crowther there too. Nice showing from him on debut. And also Glenn Morris is on debut as well. So good showing. Johnny Singleton, 7th place, Braden Moore, 9th next to him. And then Postlethwaite next to him with Liam Hanley inside the top 10. He's got some supporters in the chat. And speaking of the chat too, Munro, massive thank you to Gray Ward. Just goes bang with an $8 donation straight away, mate. Legend. Super chat, you're a legend. Thank you very much, Gray. But let's get into it. Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely. Behind them, we've got Richard Fakuri and Joel Ashiak off the 6th row. Then Jimmy Park and Gray Ward behind them with Jaden Harrison, Steve Harrison. Is that a relative? I guess a brother father combo. Oh, God.
What are we on here tonight?
We've still got 3 hours to go as well. This is going to be fun for the viewers anyway. Clayton Waters behind them with Sean North, Billy Cosmaricus yet to join the server. These guys, there's a few greyed out names that need to get their asses into the server. Only a minute 33 to go. Rick, Zach and Dax Daniel behind them. Hayden Wallace, Shawnee Mitchell, Richard King, JJ Miller, Jojo Higgins, and Luke Brock, I think, rounds out the field. There's... he's got quite a large ping there as well, so watch out for him. Fabian Fitness starting at the back with that's it. That's it for the opening race of tonight here around 4. It's Enduro round, ladies and gents. So these guys want to maybe just take it a little bit easy in the opening stanza of this race, and because you can really ruin your evening facing the wrong way on the opening lap.
Yeah, don't want to be doing that. 45 minutes, and these guys have also got a pit stop to navigate as well, because it is a mandatory compound change. So that's one they're going to think about. Who's going to play the monkey games off the start? We've got a hard racer and Glenn Boris there, and then we've got Steve Warwick on the soft, and it's a mix inside that top 10. So let's look out for that. Keep your eye out for the strategies, and boy, oh boy, wow, in the fair dinkum department, it's going to be a belt up. We've got 30 seconds to go here, ladies and gents. Give us your predictions in the chat. Who's going to take this one out for the Tier 2s? It's going to be a belter, 45 minutes. Let's go bloody racing. Let's do it, ladies and gents. It's the first thing in the morning down here in South Australia, so let's wake up a few of these lazy bastards out there that are still in bed at 7 o'clock in the morning. Get up, son, because the V8s are about to go. Lights are up and the revs are up. The heart rates are up. It's about the time we go racing, ladies and gentlemen. Glenn Morris is all on his own off the front row, so he will expect to lead into the first corner. But I'll tell you what, Steve Warwick and Schmerly are going to try. Oh, there's a bit of tomfoolery off the line there. Someone's eaten the inside wall already. That's not a good start, but Glenn Morris has got a great start. He will lead into the first turn, but look at this. Lee Crowther has made up a couple of positions, but he's gone deep. He will go off the end of turn 1 there and drop a fair few positions, but Steve Warwick goes, thank you very much. He looks up the inside now for the lead. This is a terrible camera angle. Here we go. There are side by side now for the lead. That's Steve Warwick in the net entry there. But look around the outside. Glenn Morris says, no, you won't be getting away with it that easy. Look at Rick Banachek. He has come out of nowhere, just sitting in third, but he's actually making a dive down the inside of Steve Warwick now. This is very exciting stuff here. Look at Banachek.
get go. He's got his head set in the right way here. Oh, look at that little bit of hip and shoulder there from Warwick. But they both survive somehow. But Banachek has the better of it, and he now goes into second position with Lee Crowther just taking advantage of that little tussle between those two guys. And then the rest of the field will stream through single file. Look at them all come down to the hill here, just all waiting for the tyres to come up to temp and pressure as well. So you're tippy-toeing around. But Banachek has, no, it's just the timing tower. It's Lee Crowther that has come off the pitch now and just getting back out in front of the OnlyFans car there of John. No, it's the OK Karting entry of Johnny Singleton there. So, oh no, there's a incident there between Postlethwaite and Cosmoricus has been absolutely poleaxed off into the kitty litter on lap one. That's Postlethwaite guilty as charged. He's moving slowly because he will have to redress that position. Indeed, caught in 2K. There's another car around as well. Steve Harrison's turned the opposite direction to where the track is going. That's not ideal for his race. Joel Ashiak, in all the confusion, has made his way up to 4th position, with Schmerl making a move on Brandon Moore as well, Zach O'Reilly.
Yeah, look at this. A long lap, 2 minutes, and it's all happening. There's been carnage everywhere, up and down the field. Unfortunate for Cosmoricus and Harrison there. Even Crowther too came a proper, but now Joel Ashak is right on the wheelhouse here of Steve Warwick, going toe-to-toe, side-by-side down the front straight. He's already got him. He's gapped him by a car already, and we're not even 3/4 of the way down the straight. Look at the flames come out. Beautiful stuff into the sunrise here at the bend, and that is P3 done for Joel Ashak. That was Schmerley going wide in the background there. Braden Moore's also gone wide too, so they've switched positions and got the job done, but look out. It is now Maury all over the back end of Schmerley. Can he get that short, shallow run and exit? Up the hill we go on board. We've got him side by side now. This is horse stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. You can see them. Look at Moore on the grass there, trying to cut it up on the inside and just gets it pulled up at the last moment just to get, so he can get that car braked in. Is he on the blocks? Or he's just a bit of a squirrel, but he gets it done. You can see what Schmerley's doing. He's just holding him up as he comes out of the exit, and that ruins Braden Moore's run. But 6th place at the moment for him, doing very, very nicely. What's happened to Liam Hanley? Gone down from 10th to 18th, and he's not having a good time, but he's going to claw his way back through the field. I can guarantee you that. Getting past Luke Brock there, or as he's gone way around the outside, just let him back through. So a little bit of a different strategy as well for Liam. We've got some soft runners and some hard runners out there, and the man out in front, Mr. Morris, on the hard so far. It's 2 seconds in front of the rest of them all tussling for position.
Yeah, not a bad start from him. On the harder compound of tyre too. He's got 3 guys on the softs chasing him down behind. So you'd expect those guys to make up a bit of headway in the next couple of laps. But I tell you what, the 2-second advantage now will be playing right into the hands of Mr. Morris out there in front. But Fabian Fitness is cutting his way through the field, mind you. Look at that. He's just got a 2 for 1 as we've streamed to him. What a beautiful livery too. The old Plus Fitness. Very fitting for this man to be in that one, and he's a Kiwi as well, so he is loving life in that livery. In that Mustang looks absolutely brilliant tonight, or this morning, should I say, out there at the bend. But he's come back from last position. He's already up into 8th. There's been a bit of a tussle back here. Joshy Miller has fallen off the track. Luke Brock's in trouble as well. Dax Daniel dropping back through the order. He might have got tangled up in that as well. So your guess is as good as mine. But here he is in the Supra, one of the only Supras out there at the moment. He's going to make a move on Sean North. These two guys, I think they know each other as well. As the flames come spitting out beside these two V8 supercars. Still side by side, wheel to wheel. Maybe contact there, maybe a little bit. But the Supra doesn't quite have it. But dives under brakes down here into turn 3. And there's contact, and they both go spitting off the track. There goes Jim Park, takes advantage of that up the inside here. That's an easy position for old Parky. He'll be loving life at the moment, but there's more tussling for position up the order here with Brandon Schmerl and Braden Moore, the 2 Bs going at it. Can we get an A-plus performance from one of these guys? This is a tricky part of the overtaking, tricky part of the lap to overtake on, should I say, but Brandon Moore just around the outside like a trailer park girl.
Absolutely. And speaking of trailer park girls, the sun is doing a trailer park girl because it's going around the outside at the moment of the wrong side of the planet. For us at the moment, it's setting in the background. We might be in for a night race here, ladies and gentlemen. I've looked at it as it's come through each time we've gone, and the sun is getting closer to the horizon as we speak. This is going to throw a spanner in the works for all the boys here. Not sure why. It is 1 p.m. on the timer. It is 7:30 a.m. on the server, and I don't know what is going on, but who cares? That's what we're here to do, racing, and that's why these boys are getting paid the big bucks. I can guarantee you that. Oh, look out. That was a little bit wide there. That was hairy there. Jimmy Park now all over the back of the compass at the moment, and you can see Dax Daniel just lurking in that lonely Toyota Supra out there at this stage. But now this is a view from Park at the front. He's got the best view in the house.
Whoa.
The covers are due. Dax just comes from nowhere. Just sends it straight up the inside. Bit of a hip and shoulder there. He did overshoot the exit, so that gave Parky the better line out of the second last turn. Can he nail it on the final one? He doesn't. He's off into the bunda. Can he keep it on the circuit? He does. But that's going to give Dax Daniel a really, really nice run down the front straightaway in terms of the suckage department. You can see him now just absolutely blitzing past him here. This is like 400 more horsepower. Gone, he says, straight down there, battling each other. The two old pals having a good crack here. The elder statesman at the moment of AK Racing versus the newest elder statesman of it too, having a good old tussle. And that is job done there for Dax Daniel into 12.
Yeah.
Good stuff from him. But look at the back. You got the Braveheart coming through and William Wallace. Shawnee Mitchell's trying to get up there as well. And there's a bit of tussling and towing and throwing here between these two. It's not over yet. The flashing of those exhausts looks sensational, and it is still on like Donkey Kong here. Dax Daniel versus Jimmy Park, giving us some belting racing here at the moment. And here comes William Wallace up the inside. He goes. Is he going to get Daxy? He is under brakes. Beautiful car control, and that is him sailing off into the distance. He's got a bit of rear wing damage actually. There's William Wallace too. It's on the piss a bit at the moment.
Certainly is.
It won't be helping him through most corners apart from a right-hander.
Yeah, exactly. Might get a little bit more downforce when turning right, so it all levels out in the end. It seems to be working for him now, but up ahead here, Sean North has just taken advantage of a slow-moving Clayton Waters in that Pizza Hut car. Maybe he's sporting a bit of damage as well. But he's going backwards at a rate of knots here at the moment. Maybe just a half mistake, and that's all you need sometimes here in the Tier 2 division here at AK Racing. These guys don't need a second invitation. You can worry about that. Wow, who was that? I think that was Jimmy Park that just went absolutely wide there at I think it's turn 12, and now he's side by side with Dax Daniel. Has to pull out of it because there's just nowhere to go. It seems like they. Well, there you go. Daniel's just lost it on his own there. I don't know. There was nothing involved. Maybe a compression lock-up. Maybe just a little bit too overzealous. But Jimmy Park's gone back to the pits as well. Having some technical dramas here, those guys. But Liam Hanley's also a DNF. So something's going on out there. The war of attrition has already taken a couple of victims.
Unfortunately for them, don't know whether it's a penalty or it's just a bit of technological failures. Not too sure, but Crowther is in the hot position now. He's not too far off getting Schmerley in 6th place there, only 6/10 behind him. Well, it's a big gap between Schmerley and Braden Moore, who's galloped off into 5th place there. 8 seconds adrift of Steve Warwick is Braden Moore. So we've got a little bit of battling here as Crowther just gets a bit toey and slidey and nearly takes out the rear end of Gary Postlethwaite. Gets it pulled up nicely. That was a great move from Gary, very opportunistic, mind you, and just sailed around the outside. That is a win for the Camaros here tonight so far. And he's gone off as well just to hurt any more. And can he get it pulled up? Oh, geez, a double grassy. That's not going to be happy. His tyres will be absolutely soft as butter in the black stuff and then as wet as a you-know-what on the green stuff. Banachek, however, though, this is what we've been waiting for. It is 4 laps into this one. We get about 8 laps, I reckon, of soft tyres before they're dead as a doornail. And halfway through the stint already, Banachek has clawed that 2-second gap back down to 0.6 of a second. And now it's on here for Morris. Morris will be playing the long game, but don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. That's when Morris has to come in at some stage to get onto this soft compound tyre as well. So who's going to work better? Is it going to be the early pit stop for Banachek, or is it going to be the long one for Mr. Morris? I'm not too sure. We can only find out in 35 minutes' time. When that timer gets to 0, we'll know straight away. But you can see just the apex and closing speed of that soft tyre is absolutely optimum compared to a hard compound, especially through these tight, twisty sections. It's where it comes into its own. Bit of different line there from Banachek, just pulling it up mid-corner a little bit more. And you can see that hard tyre just dancing on the rear end as it exits turn 3 there for Morris's car. So Banachek now really has to get that gallop on. He's got to be either A, in front, or B, just side by side with him as he comes into the pits to be right and truly equal when we come to the pit stop battle between these two. If they keep it clean, that's going to be a battle to the end. I can guarantee you that. I called it early.
Yeah.
We're going to see a photo finish. This could be it.
Yeah, the Oracle strikes again. And it looks like on my end the sun is rising, so we might get a little bit lighter conditions as this race goes on. But I tell you what, Banachek has done the hard work here. He's caught up to the leader of Glenn Morris. And I think both of these guys now on the equilibrium of where the tyres are at. The hards are sitting pretty in their temperature range and still got plenty of wear to go, but they just inherently don't have as much grip as the soft when they're up to speed early. But I'd say he's starting to just feel a little bit of degradation there, Banachek, and you can probably see in the body language of the car. We'll just see how he gets out of some of these slower corners and whether the rears are just starting to feel it. Certainly, I think the left-hand side tyres, the left-hand side tyres do feel it around this circuit. So these last couple of turns, you'll see whether the tyres are starting to scream out or not. But it doesn't look like that so far because Vanacek he goes a little bit of a shallow line there. Probably not what I would have done. But he's the one in the hot seat and we're the schmucks behind the microphone. So we've just got to call the action. But Morris has the advantage so far by about 2.5 tenths. That's not much. Banachek maybe pulling out of the slipstream here, attempting a little send on that softer compound. He does have the better traction, or the better stopping power, should I say. So maybe not out of the question there entirely. But I tell you what, Glenn Morris saw him coming, gave him the room, but just said, "No, thank you, you won't be getting past that easily, son," and just powers out of turn 3 and 4 there, and now just makes that gap out to about half a second. Down here, though, the battling still continue with Braden Moore and Schmerly. The two Bradens getting right up each other here in the Logitech. Look how close he is to the back wing of Schmerl here at the moment. Can he use the suck down the hill, pull out at the last minute and try and dive it up the inside? He doesn't. He plays the sensible role. That's probably what you want to do at this time of the track. There's still half an hour to go. Coming into the territory of what these guys usually race around in the timing department. They're used to a half an hour race. But this time they've added the extra 30% onto the lappage, and that counts as an enduro now for the tier 2s. But look at the line that Moore takes there, very nicely done, hitting all the apexes around that little roller coaster section. Goes for a different line as well than Schmerl in front. You can see these guys, there's plenty of different lines you can take through some of these corners. But again, a very difficult track to set up an overtake. It's usually just set it up in the last sector or so and get the better run out of the final turn and set that overtake up into turn 1. But there's plenty of opportunity to be had out there. Just got to force a mistake and you'll find yourself up a position or two.
Yeah, you will, and we can just see the difference now between the two drivers is coming into play, but also the tyres are coming into play now. We just saw on that lap prior that Banachek had the first little wiggle, the first sign of that soft tyre coming to die in the arse. So we'll see what's happened. Joel has already pulled in the pits in Ashak, so he's gone early, he's in, he's done. So him and Steve Warwick were really, really close together, and Joel's pulled the pin and gone for the undercut now. So there's your first pit stop of the night. For Joel Ashak, he's going to come through and probably come out, I reckon, in about 11th or 12th by the time he circulates through. But this is the positional gap here between these two is nothing, because Moore was about 1.8 seconds down in front of Schmerly, and now Schmerl's got past him. So this is the battle of the ages here for these two. We've got Brandon Schmerl and Braden Moore coming through the field. And you can see now, Moore, he just nails that exit. And you can see that half a car, maybe even a full car length is gained if you can ace those exits here at the bend. It's all about the exit and mid-corner speed. It's not about entry, because entry will just push you wide, understeer, and then you're going to play catch-up for the next 4 or 5 corners once again. So a little bit of gamesmanship going on here. But you can see now that Fabian Fitness is coming through the field. He's in 8th, and he's on the back of Lee Crowther very, very shortly. You can see where he is. He's on the soft compound tyre, so he's the only one now inside that top 10 who's beyond 5th on a soft tyre at this stage. So we'll see what he can do. Shawnee Mitchell, however, driving really well here in 11th, sorry, and getting the positional change here is Shawnee North versus Ashak. So Ashak's fresh out of the pits. And that was Shawnee North going the long way around. Joel has got past him. So fresh, hard compound tyres is now the go. Those hard ones that are about 7 laps old now, just starting to feel a little bit of a pinch, but not much. Oh, he's even gone for another move up the inside, as Shawnee North said, "Bugger you, mate. That was excellent stuff." The cold tyres still for Joel Asher coming into play in those tight, twisty, high-speed corners, and that is the way that you drive a supercar, passing cleanly, ladies and gentlemen, and doing a great job of it. Well done to the Compass there.
Yeah, great job there. He wants to consolidate that and move himself up the order a bit as well. But I tell you what, look at this. He's got Ashiak just sitting there and trying to make that gap back up and possibly return serve. But all these guys not separated by a lot. It'll only take one little mistake to bunch these guys up again. But speaking of bunched up, the leaders have come up together as well. That gap down under 3/10 there, just dipping under 3/10. So Rick Banachek finding a little bit more pace now in these old softs. He's going for it, or he looks for it. Maybe a little bit deep there, but manages to close right up under the rear wing. We're getting close to, where are we? 28 minutes to go. Might expect to see some pit stops happen pretty soon for these guys on the soft tyre. As Zach said earlier on, they expect to get about 8 laps of nice running out of the softs before they start to fall apart. So you imagine you'd see the damage done on the timing tower first before anything else, but it looks like, no, it's just the timing tower playing silly buggers there. Never mind that. Little red triangles popping up everywhere. But Rick Banachek now just dropping back a little bit as well. So possibly just a little mistake there from Morris to have that gap closed up earlier on in this lap.
Yep.
But yeah, probably a good as time as any for Banachek to maybe just think about what he might do in his pit stop and when he might come in for the compound change. So he will be heading out for his second stint on the hard tyre, whereas Glenn Morris will be coming out on the soft. So Morris is going to be out there for a long game. So both of these guys really in the hot seat in the strategy department. They're on alternate strategy. So you will find this could be their last little battle until the very end of the race. You'll see Banachek probably pull into the next, maybe the next few laps, but I guess he might just hold on. It's probably a good idea for him just to hold on for as long as he can and stay in touch with Morris until that degradation really just starts to kick in and he starts to fall off the pace big time. Then it's time to come in for the hard tyre and just take that to the end. Fill her up, son, and go to the end. It's the best strategy now. But look at those hard tyres coming into play out of the slow corners. That's where they're most advantageous too. Once those rears start to go, they really struggle gaining traction out of the slower turns. So you'll see Banachek's got some sums to do in his head, but that's what they do out here, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Kosmarikas, however, is on the charge here with Johnny Singleton.
Yeah, they're having a good tussle here. They're both on the same strategy, mind you, as well. So we've got to see what these boyos can get up to and do it cleanly. However, Bill hasn't gone defensive. Johnny Singleton's got his rear bar hanging off. So it's interesting. Look at John up the inside. Oh, poor. Absolutely poor stuff there. That was coming from a mile away. Johnny, give that position back. That is not on. And that is Bill Kosmarikas back to 11th place. He's got to get his head back in, get the red mist out of the helmet, and start to just think about the long run. Because not doing that stuff, Bill, is not going to help you at all. But nonetheless, unfortunately there, we saw it. Send up the inside for Johnny. He was never going to get that pulled up in time.
Nope.
Didn't matter if Bill gave him the room. He would have sailed off into the distance. So anyway, we're on again. Bill Kosmarikas in 12th place now. He'll be coming in for a hard compound change in the next 10 minutes or so. But Lee Crowther's in an absolute battle of the Titans. He has got Schmerley and Moore as a sandwich, and he's on a bit of fresh hard compound tyres here now. So we've seen Fabian Fitness and who else was that came in? Postlethwaite back there in 13th and 14th respectively, getting off those soft compound tyres early. Banachek's still going around on the soft. I'm not sure why he's doing that. In fact, he's coming to the pits now, so he's just there. He lost 2 seconds on that lap alone there to Morris, where he's gone that lap too far, ladies and gentlemen, before those soft tyres absolutely die and fall apart, as Chris Munro said. So not the best strategy there for Banachek. That's going to hurt him, I reckon, unless Morris has an absolute mare at some stage on his hard tyre. But these guys still battling it out, and you can see here Braden Moore really putting the foot down here in 4th place. This could be a really good finish to this one with these three all in tow.
Yeah, and all on the same compound as well. So this could be a battle for the rest of the race. Mind you, we're not even halfway. There goes Crowther, not getting on the brakes soon enough, and he will lose 2 positions just like that. Thank you very much. But, he's going to try and sail it around the outside. Schmerley just keeping it tight on the inside, but he's going to have too much pace for Crowther at the moment. So he will have to rethink his life back there in 4th position and how he's going to get past these two Mustangs in front of him. Oh, sorry, a Mustang and a Chevy. Chevy there of Braden Moore, looking very sleek too with the purple and black, midnight black colour. Very nice to see. Exactly what sort of design skills. I know a lot of these drivers make their own liveries. In their spare time, they like to express themselves artistically, and I'm here for that. Let's get back down to the action because Singleton has made his way up behind Shawnee Mitchell now as well in the Monster Energy entry. The AC karting guy, we've seen him have a bit of an awkward moment there not too long ago with Bill Kosmarikis. He has yet to redress that at the beck and call of my co-commentator. So obviously doesn't have the stream going up in the background. And I know a lot of these drivers do like to have a little bit of insight from the super coaches here with the stream running in the background. It's probably not a bad way to go, Zach O'Reilly. You might get some strategy tips or at least some info onto what the other drivers are doing.
Well, yeah, you know, it's always a better. Some advice is better than no advice.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of taking it in or not. But Johnny's in the wars. Look at that rear bumper and rear wing, absolutely cactus at this stage, on the brink of getting himself into 9th place. Sean Mitchell holding him up at the moment, which is good to see. And if these guys keep battling, it's going to bring back that man right in the foreground there, coming around turn 12 or 13, whichever one it is, Bill Kosmarikis, who got taken out, unfortunately, there by that man on screen. But let's race on for the rest of them. Crowther's in the pits now too, so we've got to keep an eye out for these guys. Morris is yet to pit. He's got, I reckon, another 10 minutes before he comes in. Those hard compound tyres have probably got a good 20, maybe 25 laps at these guys' pace in them. So plenty of time out there to just sail around and then go for it at the end to really set some hard and fast lap times on the old limited fuel run that they've got left. But he's driving the wheels off this, and now it's on here. Mitchell versus Singleton, and it looks like Singleton's got the job done for now. Is it going to be up the inside again there for Shawnee? It is. He's just neck and neck, and look at the compass behind him. Bird's eye view, well, not bird's eye view, point of view from the rear end of these three, just having a good old tussle. And you can see now that Johnny is getting a little bit defensive, but Shawnee's gone even more attacking up the inside. Not going to work for him. Can the compass do an around the outside move, Trailer Park Girl style, on Shawnee Mitchell? Looks like he's got a little bit of overlap, but not enough on the end of the corner. And this is just going to be bringing in that man behind it, Bill Kosmarikis, 2.6 seconds away at the moment. It'll be down to a second if this battling continues. But these guys know how to go racing and know how to do it pretty quickly, mind you. So let's see what the compass can bring. Good to see Sean North back in this grid as well. Haven't seen him for a while. Been out and about doing hard works, paying all the Centrelink people off with all the bass he puts through each and every quarter. And doing a very nice job on the track at the moment, albeit just going a bit wide there. Too ambitious there for him. But nonetheless, that is okay. The battling, though, is still going on and down up and around the field for pit strategies. Not on the track, but just pit strategy time. Steve Warwick and Ashak having a good tussle for 6th and 5th at the moment. Only about 5 or 6 tenths splitting those two. And you can see Steve Warwick is looking at the back of that Castrol. Is it a Castrol car? No, it's not. It is a custom liveried Camaro. And these two are going hammer and tong. Go green, a carpet clean. Okay, eco-friendly carpet cleaning, ladies and gents. You know where to go. Search that one up and get Joel's business up and running.
Yeah, absolutely. All welcome for all these drivers to get their own businesses. Oh, no, we've crossed a Postlethwaite at the perfect time. He's absolutely binned it. That Camaro seen better days. Holy moly, look at that. She's had more hits than Elvis at the moment. The front bar hanging off. The look at all that. That front end is absolutely stuffed. We'll ride on board and see if we can get an idea of the steering damage. Oh, yep. Fair bit of that. Yeah. Maybe a little bit of a right hand down. Maybe. Oh, it's hard to tell on this this windy circuit. Maybe it's not too bad actually. Yeah, the steering arms have managed to survive that. Oh no, there's a little bit of right hand down perhaps, but certainly some aero damage there. He's spinning around like a dreidel there at the moment. But only 20 minutes to go, so maybe he can hold on to at least his pit stop and come back out with a bit of damage fixed up there. But bad luck for Postlethwaite. We're going to give him a little rap about being up so high in the order, but maybe next time. Ashiak, however, has starting to close that gap up to Steve Warwick in front. Actually, I think Warwick came in for a pit stop, so he is on the a fresh set of hards. They will be starting to come into operating range as well. So he'll have a little battle on his hands. Joel Ashak. It looks like every runner out there at the moment is on the hards. This is the crossover point, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of these guys, actually no, Lee Crowther is out there on the soft. Has he come in? He has come in for a pit stop. How is he going to go 20 minutes on a set of soft tyre? I don't know if that's going to be possible. Maybe he's going to have to come in for another set of softs at the end. Not ideal for Lee, but I'm sure he knows what he's doing out there. Shawnee Mitchell, however, he's got his namesake in front of him, albeit spelt differently in the North Star Transport entry. But look at that, Bill Kosmarikis just getting an absolute ripping exit out of the second to last corner. Getting the overtake done and a nice exit to boot. That's great driving there from the 10K man, Zach O'Reilly.
Beautiful stuff there. Took a leaf out of the old son's book there of myself and really got the gallop on there as Bill. And the cars looks relatively straight here for Bill.
It does.
Let's get off him before we commentate and curse him. He might be listening in the background. Banachek is on those hard tyres. And I'll tell you what the pit stops are as we get a little bit of lull in proceedings. We have got Morris, Schmerley and Moore. Your top three have not stopped. We've got Banachek, Warwick and Ashak. They have stopped. And then you've got no stops from Wallace all the way down to Sean Mitchell. And then you've got Fitness, Crowther and Postlethwaite with their pit stop too. Waters, Miller and Jimmy Park also have stopped. So we have got effectively here your top from 4th down to 6th could be on like Donkey Kong for 3rd, 2nd and 1st. And then you've got anyone from Crowther down to Postlethwaite all tussling for a 6th all the way down to 10th by the time these pit stops come around. So a little bit of something to think about. It's not over yet. As we speak of the Devil, he is in the pits now. This is the time. He has got 17 minutes left to go, which will probably equate to about 9 or 10 laps on the soft tyre, which is what Rico Banachek did. And you saw at the end that Mr. Morris absolutely gapped him by 2.5 seconds on that said 10th lap. So he's pulling into the same traps as Banachek did. Can he pull it together and keep that car well as controlled as Banachek did for the last stint? And look at the gap. It is well and truly straight at the moment. The undercut has worked. That 2 and a bit seconds gap did cost Mr. Bananarama, as we call him, in 4th place, a hell of a lot of time. And that could be the checkered flag waved already. Future tense for P1 for Mr. Morris.
Yeah, well, it was, 2.5 seconds when they came in. Morris opting for the overcut there, and he's done another, 8 seconds in that little transition. So great strategy call there from Morris. He was a bit unsure about himself and how to do a pit stop, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. He's new to the sim, he's new to AK Racing, and he's come out and he's blitzing the field at the moment. Got the pit stop picture perfect, and he's put 8 seconds on the second man out there in net positioning, which is Rick Banachek, with Schmerl and Moore yet to make their pit stop. So he's pretty comfortable there in second. I think Steve Warwick is sitting third as well on the racetrack. In the net positions with Axiak as well, I think. And then the rest, I'm not too sure about whether they've made a pit stop or not. I know Crowther has, because he started on the hard. So
he did.
Yep. So he's on the soft now until he deems them unsuitable.
Yeah, we've got Wallace and Singleton in 7th and 8th, still not to stop.
Yep.
And Schmerley and Moore. So you effectively got Banachek in 2nd, Warwick in 3rd, and Joel Ashak in 4th net at the moment. Lee Crowther will be in 5th, with Fabian Fitness in 6th place. If nothing happens, that could be the battling we're going to see in the next 15 or odd minutes. But it's all going to be down to the deltas. Who's been able to keep it clean and battle on, and not lose those 2 or 3 seconds per battle lap that you do lose, trying to tussle over position. That's why you just got to pick your battles and just try to get that car pointed and nosed out on exit and amplify any chance you got to stop yourself from battling. Just like we see out in front there between Cosmarikis and Fitness, that is Fabian up the inside into 10th place. He's got the job done on Bill. Easy as you like, no contact made there. And Fitness now on one stop already. He's going to charge through the field now. Him and Crowther separated by 4.7 seconds. So check out that one. Braden Moore's in the pits now too. So they're all coming through. Johnny Singleton, however, has had a mare there. And Crowther's got past him. So now Johnny Singleton back down to 9th. An angry Fabian Fitness coming their way. Moore's sailing down the field in 7th place at the moment. He's going to lose another couple there at this stage. Wallace, the only person, and Johnny Singleton, sorry, inside the top 10 right now. And Schmerley, I can't get it right. 7 out of the 10 have made their stop inside that top 10 for now. So it's going to be interesting, ladies and gents. Never over until that checkered flag is waved and that timer tower gets down to 0. Christopher Munro, we know what racing brings us.
Yeah.
And it's on like Donkey Kong here for all the guys in Sundry.
Yeah, it'll turn up the heat sooner or later as well, because we've got the second round of pit stops coming up for those guys that started on the hards. We had Ron Marshall in the chat saying that he reckons the hards go for about 28 laps. So we got another 13 laps to go. I don't think we're going to get that many because there's only 14 minutes to go in this race. So these guys probably want to start thinking about, well, we've got 8 laps to go. Yeah, it's feasible for Morris to jump into the pits now. Actually, he has. He's come out on the soft tyre, so he will go to the end on that. And I don't think any of these guys are going to be catching him either because he's on the faster tyre. In fact, setting a purple sector there in Sector 2, so he might even put in fastest lap of the race here at the moment. He's on for a 1:53.4. Let's see what happens when he crosses the line. A 1:53.4. That is the fastest lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen. He's not here to proverbiate with a bunch of spiders here at all. He's here to race and win, and he's doing a great job of that at the moment. Brendan Schmerley just there circulating around until he makes his pit stop. He might as well do it now. Banachek's come out on the hards. He's in the second place net position with Warwick as well. So these guys now that have started on the hards, it's probably time to come in and chuck those softs on and give yourself enough time to make the gap up to anyone that was in front of you.
Yeah, well, you can see on the track map as well there that there is a bit of clean air to go there for Mr. Warwick at the moment. So he's going to be fine. Everyone else in front of him in Schmerley is going to pit stop. So he's at no risk. He just needs to keep his eyes forward and race on. He's got that 11.5-second gap to Banachek. I don't know if he'll make that up, to be honest. It'd take a miracle. But nonetheless, that's where he'll finish. He'll finish net 3rd place at this stage. Looking very, very nicely done. But it's still on. You've still got a couple of people to pit. And you've got Braden Moore there is on the soft compound tyre already. So he has made his pit stop. Johnny Singleton is not behind him. And everyone else is on like Donkey Kong. Where is Maury overall? He's only 1 second behind Crowther now. And with only 12 minutes to go, that's going to equate to about 7 laps at this stage on those soft compound tyres. They're going to be in their prime position for the whole time around. So if you're Lee Crowther, you would start to be sweating because you've been doing now at least 10 minutes, 5 laps equivalent on those soft compound tyres. They will be singing to the high heavens, and you can already see he's 2/10 or 3/10 down on his own personal best lap time, which, mind you, has only been a 55.1. So if Maury can get up there, considering his personal best is a 56 dead, he's already 6/10 up on his own. This could be on for the battle of the ages for the two young fellas. Going to be great to see here for a battle for 6th and 7th place come the last 11 minutes of this one.
Yeah, and that's what we want to see. That's what the viewers want to see at home as well. You can see on screen there that gap getting visually smaller each turn. So Braden Moore just finding his straps here late in this endurance race here. The first one of the year for the Tier 2s. It's possibly the first endurance race for a lot of these guys. I know, I think it was Morris in the Discord earlier stating he hasn't done a race that was over 20 minutes or something like that. So this is doubled it and more. Maybe the longer format suiting his style. But we've seen him. We'll get him on screen as well while we're talking about him. Hardly he's made a mistake all day. He's kept this car straight. He's kept it right where he wants it. And really, look at that, using every part of the track as well. So I swear, he keeps this up, he will find himself in the main game before too long.
Yeah, definitely. With setting 1 minute 53 deads at this stage is his target time. 4/10 up on his own personal best. It's just getting better and better. Loves the light fuel load and the soft compound tyre, does Mr. Morris. So good to see Glennis up there and having a good old-fashioned tussle. 53 dead at this stage would probably put him in the top 15 overall in the main grid. So a very quick customer indeed. Good to have him on board and around. It's great to have everyone in the chat as well. Got Super Geek chiming in there. We've got Munro just replying as we go. Ron Marshall's giving us Super Coach ideas. We've got Grey Ward just trying to get back in and join the server. Has not been able to do so. So we'll have him on for the rest of the night. But Glennis doing really, really well here as well. And speaking of which, we are doing pretty well. We've hit the 1,000 subscribers, and it's onwards and upwards to 2,000 at the moment. So please, if you like what you see, give us a like and a subscribe to the channel. Mr. Munro calling the action there, and myself, Zach O'Reilly, right with you here till the end. And look at this for a good old tussle here. Morey now and Crowther are only split by 0.3 of a second. Moore is hounding him down. Man, 4th overall in the championship in Braden Moore, looking very, very racy here, giving Lee something to think about. And if he keeps his pace up here and stops battling too much and he gets a clean run somewhere and forces an error into Lee's wheelhouse like he just did then, it is going to be a gain of position for Braden Moore into 6th place, and he will be stoked with that. Schmerley has finally pitted with 9 minutes to go. So now it is all over 6th and 5th place for these boyos. Top 5 is now hot property. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to that 5-to-1 ratio on the pit board, by the time the races is finished, it starts to get a bit sheep stationy here, because anything other than first to me is not submissible, as Munro knows as well. But these boys don't care about that. It's racing on here with 8 minutes and 35 left in this one. It's going to be a belt turn. Oh, a bit of slide there too from Lee. He's absolutely lost it. Morey checked up there. He should have just kept powering out of that one and got the chockies over him. But he let him go, let him hopefully spin out of that one. And his tyres are really, really hot now. That is a signal that you don't want to have as a driver behind the wheel of that Mustang. They are then just dancing and galloping around. Morey's got a good little bit of overlap, but he won't go for it now. You can see here in the best seat of the house, the cranium cam style of these boyos having a good old tussle. That is a lap traffic car in front, or is it? Yes, no, it's not. It's Brandon Schmerl. Brandon Schmerl came out of the pits in front of them. Yeah. Wow, I missed that completely. My fault. And there's a race on for attrition. Schmerley's on the freshest compound. Lee's on the worst. And then Morey is about mid-pack. So this is a battle of the Titans here. Can Morey get in front of Crowther? And can Schmerley keep his lead between Crowther for that top 5?
Well, that's these are the questions that we want to have answered, but we're not going to have that until the 7-minute and 37-second mark has gone past and the fat lady has done her singing. But look at this, Braden Moore just giving him plenty of curry. Brandon Schmerl out there, fresh out of the pits on that set of hard tyres. So he'll be struggling for a bit of temperature. Here goes Lee, looking up the inside. Oh, that's a deep send. Can he keep it on the track? Certainly can't. There goes Schmerl. There goes Moore, and he loses to position there to Morey. Little bit ambitious, as the great man would say. Maybe dead set in the late braking department. He'll have to go back, and that'll be one to debrief over next time. And next time he goes for a move like that, he'll probably think, oh, remember that time at the bend? I just got a little bit too hungry. But here goes Moore. He's going to try and take a leaf out of Crowther's book. Thinks better of it. Just sits back into the slipstream. Clatters across the sausage curb. Not the best thing for that suspension, but they can handle it, ladies and gentlemen. These mods are A1 quality. Just modelled 1-to-1 off the V8 Supercars Australian Series. We've got a question here from Midos Garage. May I ask what mod you guys use for these cars? These are the AK Racing Custom V8 Supercar mod Gen 3 style. They've been made
ground up, built.
Yep, made in-house there by the series that races them. So if you check out in the video description, there is a link to their Discord where you can acquire these cars for yourself and perhaps come and race with us and get your name up in lights on the stream here at SimSational TV. So thank you very much, Midos Garage, for the question. Scuzzy's answering other questions in the chat as well. Thank you very much, Daniel Cicluna. We're going to see him up very shortly in the main game. Him and a bunch of others all vying for the top position here in the big boys race. Doesn't take anything away from these guys as well. They know how to race it down here in Tier 2. Tell you what, the qualifying stakes to get into, I suppose the difference between Tier 1 and Tier 2 was the proverbial bee's dick. So I tell you what, there's not that big of a difference between the two grids. So hats off to everyone involved there. But Billy Kosmarikis now on the way back. He's up behind Steve Harrison at the moment, only 4/10 in it.
Yeah, only 4/10, but that's okay. And Bill's just gone off the track as we looked. But he'll learn from this. He's got all the power to be now because he is on a fresh set of soft tyres as well. So this is now rate of attrition stuff between himself and Steve. Two of the mid-50s races out there at the moment. Doesn't matter how much the age is on your cranium. Get involved here at AK Racing. You can see what the racing does. They're all over each other here and racing very, very hard and fast. Bill's had 3 pit stops, still manages to get himself inside the top 15 That's probably good performance. Oh, just Steve went a little bit wide there. Bill checked up a little bit, but now he's got a half a run here as Bill. We're right on board and see what he does. He's not the most aggressive of drivers at the best of time is Bill, but he can sit back and patiently put the pressure on and just make Steve think about that purple and white Mustang behind him coming at a rate of knots at this stage. Very, very nice driver in the both of them here. It's 15th and 14th minor positions, but it doesn't matter because that's what racing's about. Doesn't matter where you're on the circuit, you're racing for that place.
No.
Oh, Bill's lost it. Into the bin he goes. Absolutely collected himself there. I might as well start calling him Rubbish Binny. And he's off in the field. 15th place now. Clayton Waters is still a ways behind, so he's not going to lose any positions at this stage, thank goodness. Bill will be ruined that day at the moment, unfortunately for him. But nonetheless, he'll come back stronger each round of the season as it goes past. But 3 minutes and 55 left in the race. Has been a good, clean one, Ron Marshall. It definitely
Sure
has been mostly. And the guys are racing hard and fast. And you can see Moore has got the chockies there at the moment off Schmerley, who's dissipated down into 10th place after being right up there. I wonder what happened to Brandon Schmerl there. Unfortunately for him, he has come back in. In fact, I know exactly what happened to him, Mr. Munro. He was on the hard compound. Guess what?
Now he's on the soft.
Came back out on the hard. And then he had to go back in and put a soft tyre on. Ruining the day, Mr. Schmerl. Ruining the day.
Little mistakes. That
what's happened at the lead?
I think that's a timing tower.
No, it's not.
It's not. No. Glenn Morris has made a massive mistake here along the line somewhere and has found himself in second position. He had a 26-second gap between him and Banachek last time I looked, and that was dead set about 20 seconds ago. So he must have binned it at the maybe first turn. He must have found himself facing the wrong way, and Banachek has inherited the lead of this race. And I tell you what, there's no better time for it when there's only probably 1.5. Where are we up to? Yeah, this one and another lap to go. How fantastic here for Rick Banachek. We've seen it, and we've said it again and again on Wednesday Cup. We've seen him just go from strength to strength as a driver. And I tell you what, even though he was sort of handed this lead by Glenn Morris, but he will take that win. And I'll tell you what, they don't draw pictures in the results. It's just P1, P2, P26, wherever you end up. That's where you end up. So Banachek has got his hands full because look at the pace on Morris. He's made up about a second in that sector alone, and he is on the softer compound of tyres. So Banachek's going to have his absolute hands full here on the final lap of this race. They will get around. Yes, this will be the second last lap. So last lap coming up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to speak until the start-finish line and let the commentator Gold of Zach O'Reilly call the last lap of this race. And hopefully Rick Banachek or one of these guys is going to win it, that's for sure. But I'll tell you what, Rick Banachek's going to have his hands full to defend. He's going to have to get his Alonso on. Let's go, Zach O'Reilly. Last lap of the race.
Here we go, Banachek versus Morris. Banachek is on the worn compound of that soft tyre, and you can see Glennis coming through at a rate of knots. He's sent it up the inside already.
Oh, no.
Is he going to get the job done here into turn one? Banachek's seen him coming, giving him the racing room kindly, and he's going to be on the disadvantageous side of the track. Oh, they've even touched as well. That was hairy stuff there. What happened to Glenn? He came through the pits again, so that's why he lost that 22-second position. But now it's all over by the shouting because Banachek's on the slide. You can see here now he has lost all momentum out of that corner, and the overlap's on there. Oh, Banachek's going to have to go off into the grass and lose that lead. Oh, I'm singing to the high heavens is Banachek. Morris comes out, and poor old Rico has just lost the lead. He's so truly out there for that momentary of a disappointing moment for Morris. He would have been spewing going down that pit lane. That's why the 22-second gap was gone. And Banachek just hadn't got the tyres left on that car. And Morris out on the soft compound tyre just blitzes away. Banachek has lost that lead. Only going to be, I reckon it'll be about 2 seconds by the time they cross the finish line. But still, what a race here from both of them. Halfway through the circuit now is Glennis Morris, and he will take the checkered flag, barring an absolute disaster here. I was ready, revved up to go for that one,
yes.
And it dissipated in about 4 corners. Banachek, though, is going to be stoked with a P2 in this one. He's coming at absolute rate of knots in the talent department is Banachek. Maury, however, is right on the back here of Jolie. This is it. This is a switchback move coming away. Look at the way that Maury takes a corner. Best way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Swing it out wide and then cut it in for a late apex. Gives you all the exit speed and width to go. That is absolutely sensational stuff. But has Maury got any left in the tank here? If there's a soft compound that is dead as a doornail versus a hard compound right in its prime, you can see Joel coming. Maury showing the nose, just trying to pressure Joel into a bad mistake here. But look at this as Morris comes across the line, takes the checkered flag over Rico Banachek. 3.5 seconds it is, and they're tapping these boys. Oh, a bit of contact there between Maury and Ashak. Now it's on like Donkey Kong between these two. Is Maury going to go for a last-minute send here? No, he's not. He's got one more corner to do anything. But it's all stations line astern here for Ashak. He's got the drive. He's got the power down. Can he get it through the final corner without any misdemeanors here at all? Maury sent it in so hard, just trying to get it all done. Here could be a photo finish, ladies and gentlemen. Crossing the line. Is it on? No, absolutely not. Just within a tenth of a second between fourth and fifth. That was sensational stuff, but this was the man of the moment. Morris takes the P1 on debut, sends it through, and gets that job done. Drive so far of the season for him, and definitely one for the record books. I don't know if we've had many people come through on debut, Christopher Munro and AK Racing, and take a victory. That is one for the record books. Congratulations to everyone in Sundry.
Yeah, actually, we've had a couple. Benny Hines in Wednesday Cup. Yeah, come out and gave him, 4? And I'll tell you what, it's been since, behind Benny Hines in the Wednesday Cup, just recently, mind you. It's been years since we've seen a debutant even make the top 10 in an AK Racing race. So we've seen it come thick and fast lately. It's hard to keep track of, but I'll tell you what.
Supercars? Supercars, does it ever happen?
Absolutely not. No,
wow.
Absolutely not. No. In the Supercars department, this is a world first, ladies and gentlemen. Glenn Morris, take off your hat. Take off your hats to him at home as well. Give it a little dip, because that is a fantastic drive from him. Pretty much faultless, except for the little, big mistake, really, leading to the battle of the ages for the last lap. It was a kind of... It's shaping up to be one of the best battles we've seen. We had Zach O'Reilly on the edge of his seat. He was ready to get up and boogie, but that fizzled out in turn 4. But that's all right, because these guys are going to be back at it next time, and I'm looking forward to that. What a race. Glenn Morris takes the victory. Rick Banachek drove his ass off on that in that Shell V-Power Mustang. Takes home P2. Steve Warwick, we've hardly called his name all race, and that's probably a good thing. He's just sat in silence. Takes out P3. There are your podium getters tonight, ladies and gents. Joel Ashiak gets a top 4. P4 for him. P5 for Maury. One more lap, maybe, and he might have had one more corner. He might have had Ashiak. Lee Crowther in 6th position. That's a nice little sunset view. Take that for a screenshot for your desktop, ladies and gentlemen. Hayden Wallace there in P7 with fitness, working his way up to P8 after about 4 laps, but then might have found himself a little bit of trouble and did not make any progress further on from that. Schmerley, P9. Gary Postlethwaite down there in P10. The crash of the night, and couldn't be more perfectly timed from your director here at SimSational TV. Got him in 2K. Thank you very much, Johnny Singleton. Might have some words to say from the stewards as well. Shawnee North in 12th. Shawnee Mitchell there in 13th, rounding the final turn of his in-lap. Steve Harrison in 14th with Clayton Waters, Bill Kosmarikis, Jay Miller, El Brock down there in 18th position with Park 2 laps behind, and Dax Daniel and Liam Hanley are your casualties for the night. But that is Tier 2, run and 1.
Yeah, very well done, and congratulations to everyone for keeping it clean for 98% of it. Well done to everyone. What a finish there for 2 cars, P1 and 2, and then the final corner battle there between Moore and Ashak, only separated by a tenth of a second as they cross the line. Beautiful stuff there, but Joel Ashak came from 13th and got into 4th place, Munro. So that is overtake killer of the night. Got through and got the job done. But that is Tier 2, as we said, done and won for another fortnight. 45 minutes there. Enduro is won, and that is a cracking points haul there for one Glenn Morris. Off the front row, took it, nearly lost it, but got it back there. That is sensational stuff. So as we get settled down again and take a breather, this is SimSational TV, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Bend, and this is race 1 of 2 of the evening. We've got a 2-hour special coming your way, but that is not going to be going ahead until we get qualifying coming our way very shortly. The Tier 1 guys are about to set scene and start fanging their Gen 3 supercars around the Bend Motorsport Park for 11 minutes of hot lapping, and we'll find out who's going to take the chockies on that one. That is 2 hours. That is going to be a minimum 2-stopper. I reckon I'll see 3 stops in this one coming our way. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Munro and O'Reilly are going to be back here at SimSational TV in just a few moments.
Ready now for the main grid, the main game. The big boys are now taking the track. That was a good race too, the Tier 2. So these guys have got big shoes to fill, Zach O'Reilly.
Yeah, massive shoes, actually. And when you have that sort of pressure put on you, it's definitely something to be nervous about. But one person who's not phased at the moment is that man in front, Nick Mallow. Tuned in, ready to go. We've got 1:37 to left here for the Tier 1 guys to start their qualifying session for the 2-hour race coming your way. So strap in, viewers, because it's going to be an absolute rip snorter here. But who's going to take the chockies for provisional race start and maybe potential winner of this one? Who knows? But with this sort of game, you just have to be on your toes at every single moment. We've got 22, 23, 24 drivers actually now in the field here, ready to rock. This is the prime stuff, ladies and gents. This is where the boogies all come together and form a party. And this is where the Tier 2 guys want to be. So see what comes up. And we've got one entrant into here as well who missed out. Special treatment for him tonight in Sam Spencer, a Tier 2 guy who is going to be mixing it with the main grid. How will he go?
Yeah, well, we'll find out very shortly. He's probably prepped and primed for a 45-minute race. He probably didn't know he was going to have to do another qualifying session, but it was a mistake in the back end, so we thought we'd let him in for at least a race in some description. But he will be starting from the back, so it's a tall order of any sort. But I guess a baptism of fire is fair enough because he did qualify in the top 2. He would have started off the front row next to Glenn Morris. So I guess a bit of redemption for him and a little bit of a warm-up to perhaps see a bit of foreshadowing to see where he might be in a few rounds' time with the relegation and the promotion system that is alive and well here in the AK Racing V8 Supercars. But here we go. The lights are green in the qualifying stakes as we see all the cars of all the colours go streaming out the gates here for the first time. It's an 11-minute qualifying session, which means they get about 4 laps, maybe 5 if you're lucky. So no room for error here at all. We see a few guys just opting to stay in the pit lane here and wait for a gap. That's probably pretty smart, but they will only get maybe 4 laps in total anyway. But it's all about real estate here when it comes to the racing. And Matt Cotter's found himself in front. Nick Mello was the first man out of the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. And somehow Matt Cotter's found himself now in front as well as McEwen. So maybe Nick Mello just outbraking himself down there into turn 1.
Yeah, well, he's a bit of inside scoop on Nick Mello. Not feeling the best, a little bit under the weather tonight's racing. So just struggling to find that little bit of pace, setting 1:52 odds for him. But that doesn't matter about qualifying. We know what Nick Mello can do in a race, and so can this guy as well on the screen right now, representing AK Racing with his teammate Scotty Cordham there, 10th on the tower at this stage. Also entering back into the chat. So a bit of gamesmanship coming each way here for the AK Racing boys. But Matt Cotter now, he's just getting those tyres warmed up. A little bit of an indicator too, however, though, if your car feels good on an outlap here in these V8 Supercars, it's generally going to feel worse as the stint goes on. And every time we look at that, we see Matt Cotter's car and we go, how does he control the bloody thing? Because it looks absolutely diabolical, yet he can put it out on pole and win races at the best of times too. So this is interesting to see. But Munro, I think it's your time to shine here. You're going to take Matt Cotter away for his first flying lap of this qualifying session.
Let's go. It's been a while since I've raced at the bend, but it was a P1. Don't you worry about that. Let's go down the main straight. We top out at about 270 k's an hour when we're looking for, on the left here, maybe the 150 board just braking after that. And you want to be hugging the inside turn. A little bit of steering work there from Matt Cotter as well. And again, hugging the inside, trying to take a wide as line as you can, because this is the corner where you will slingshot yourself into, well, geez, he's really struggling to keep the arse end of this car in check. But down now into the fast left-hander. It depends how much wing you've got on the back, whether you can take that full stick or not. And you can see on the throttle trace there, Matt Cotter just opting for the low wing variety, as he usually does, using the right foot to keep the car straight. Now, this is the funnest part of the circuit. A quadruple right-hander as you go down the hill, go right out to the left-hand side of the track, dip it in over the top of this little crest. And Matt Cotter on the ragged edge of grip, as always, but maybe just a little bit deep through there because you're sacrificing this run up to the next series of right-hand turns. And I think this is turn 12 or 13 from memory, dipping it in here. This is a very deceptive turn because the track just sort of falls away from you on the exit, as you can see there, using all of that curb on the exit. Now it's the more technical part of this circuit here, probably the slowest section as well, dipping it in, being very patient on the throttle, as you can see on the throttle trace there. Can't really get to full throttle, and if you can, it's for a split second. Now down in the final two turns of this circuit, just braking where the curbing starts on the left-hand side. Matt just missing the apex there as well. This isn't going to be the best lap. It was pretty untidy from my eye, but then again, Matt Cotter, when he makes it look untidy, it turns out to be a quick lap in the grand scheme of things anyway. But he shoots himself down the main straight, and this will be a 151-1. Pretty good to open the account with. Alex McEwen can't do any better. Neither can Nick Mello. Dean Hanley crossing the line for a 153. Scott Garrick joining them on the second row provisionally. No one's knocked Matty Cotter off it yet. Harley Marshall joining the party in the top 5 stakes. Lockie Grant up there as well. Junior Ferguson with a 153. Scott Cordham, the man, the myth, the legend. This is the first time I've called him in quite a while. So looking forward to seeing how he can go. I remembered now, the top grid is full of black and yellow cars. It's going to do me in. But Matt Cotter, Benny Aspen putting in a time now as well. Only 2.7 seconds off the lead. Jason McFadden chiming in. Alan Nielsen up there in the top 6. Great start from him. 6 minutes to go. It's not a lot of time out there on track, ladies and gentlemen. Where's the magician? He snuck out a win last round, and he's in a white car. What's going on? Let me try and fix that for the next round.
Oh, it's a disaster there for the magician, although that's what we call him. Sometimes he has a livery, sometimes he doesn't. Yes. So we just got to keep that one in the back of our head. Matt Cotter's lap was an absolute belter. The Scuds, Daniel Cicluna did a 151.0.5 for the fastest lap in practice. So already, right on it was Matt Cotter. So it's good to see him setting it hard. And so is Pearso. Look at that, just gone and put it into the pits early there. The magician magically putting himself from one place to the other. Up to his name he goes. Ferguson, however, this one here is Jack, the younger one of the two on the circuit at this stage. The oldest one, Andrew, not around tonight. He's over in Japan, I believe, on work commitments. So looking for his young fella to do himself proud for the Ferguson racing team. And nonetheless, at this stage, he's got to get a little bit of a wriggle on. 2 seconds down the road from himself and Matt Cotter in that pole position. Alex McEwen is still good 9/10 off and actually just come through and halved that gap. So now it's only 3 and a bit tenths now between McEwen and Cotter. The times are tumbling. Scotty Garrick as well as could be a dark horse in this one as well. So keep an eye out for him. He's now in second place. Well, now he's in 4th because Harley Marshall's just beaten him as well. Nick Malloy's up there as well, 5th place too. So everyone's starting to get down with this 4 minutes and 50-odd seconds left. We've only really got time for 3 flying laps here if they start to come out of the pits now on a fresh set of soft tyres. But Matt Cotter absolutely nearly setting the lap record here in AK Racing Department for his banker lap and just took the absolute piss. And same with Harley Marshall too. Doesn't need any sponsors. Ron's taken them off and said, boys, if you want to go racing, it's not coming out of my pocket anymore. Here's your white car, son, and we're off and racing. Yeah,
it's a bit disconcerting. I've downloaded all the skin packs and still some missing. So very hard to keep track of all these skin packs coming out. But there you go. We've got a couple of white liveries there in sundry. Anyway, Matt Cotter still on top with a 151 dead. 1-0-0 for the last time he went around. But that must have been a... I don't know, there's a little discrepancy in between the best lap and the other one there, but it doesn't matter. He's still got 4 tenths behind him to Alex McEwen, and on the track as well, as you can see McEwen just following him around, maybe trying to get a little bit of that slipstream action in the Mustang, and that's a good strategy to do as well, where these top tier guys are separated by mere, I don't know, human hairs, really. Look at that. It's less than a second between the top 5. I expect that to get tighter as the qualifying goes on. But this is one of those cutthroat qualifying sessions. These guys coming in for a new set of boots. They're going to go out again once they get those on and a bit of fuel in, and everyone else is doing the same, it seems. But Scott Garrick doing as well, diving into the pits. Everyone's diving into the pits now. Who is out on a lap? Ryan Nielsen is out on a lap. He's gone green in the second sector. He is just on the teetering edge of an improvement as well, as you can see down the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Now he dips into the green, so he's on for an improvement here. He doesn't have to go that far. He's got a 10th up the road to the guys in front of him, 2/10 to Nick Mello, 2/10 to Scott Garrick. So he's in that range now that he could possibly jump up into the top 5. We'll see how he handles these last couple of turns, because this is the make or break reason. Look at that. He's gone 152.2 now. He just has to hold it together on the exit here. He's lost a little bit, so he is going backwards down the main straight, but it is going to be an improvement. He jumps up 1 position to 7th. So he'll be happy with that. You want to be just starting near the front, I believe, here in these sort of enduro races. Qualifying isn't as important as it is in a sprint race. As long as you have your consistency and your racing brain plugged in correctly, you can make those places up on track.
Yeah, definitely. And that's it's a long race ahead, 2 hours. A lot of pit strategies coming into play later on in the session. So we've got to keep an eye out for that as well. McEwen is going out for his outlap right now. So he's on the tying edge and brink of this qualifying session. You can see in front of him, I'm pretty sure that also is Matt Cotter just in front of him. So this could be impressive if he can get the job done here as well for Alex McEwen, to see if he can jump Matt Cotter 3.9 tenths down the road. With 1:32 left, though, this is the dying stages, and sometimes getting caught in the mid-pack, if you are a front runner, is not where you want to be. Dino Hanley's just bumped himself up into 8th place now with a 52.3. Did qualify better on the practice server with a 51.8. So we'll see a bit more better times there from Dino, I would hope. No, he's out of this one. That's his qualifying done, won and run. Nielsen's in the pits now. Cordham's in the pits. No improvement from him. His teammates out in front by a country mile. Who has we got left on any hot laps? Dion Clerk in the Toyota. Driving the wheels off this thing and too far as well. That won't hurt him. He'll get around to the checkered flag, though, in time with 54 seconds left. So very, very much so on for an improvement. Matt Cotter also is on one last flying lap. He's just started that too. So can he improve and get into the 50s? We'll only find out in about 4.8 kilometres time here. Slides it into T1. Gets it pulled up. Hasn't lost any time. In fact, gained 0.03 of a second doing so. Rounds into turn 3, he goes. Can he get the chockies in there and point it out? He can, but he's right on the edge. Only one B stick, 3 B sticks now between himself and his own personal best. Going to show yellow on the first timing tower if it's in the red, but I'll tell you what, there is nothing in it. This guy is absolutely on like Donkey Kong. He's the man behind him better on as well. McEwen is also on the off screen as well. He's lost a bit of time there as Matt Cotter now. Where can he gain it up? But McEwen has found some time, although on the teetering edge himself. Bit of a watch here going on between these two. So a 10th here, half a 10th here, you name it. It is nothing in this track. The checkered flag is now out. Ryan Nielsen, 6th place provisionally. Jay Ferguson, 8th place provisionally. Alan Nielsen and Scott Cordham in 14th respectively now. Cotter is still 1.6 tenths away. And don't think he'll get an improvement. Nah. But Alex McEwen still is on the charge. He got a personal best in the first sector, down by a little bit. So technically, he should still be up. The timing tower not giving us that information at this stage. But I don't think it's going to be any improvement. So Cluner, has he got any answers in the bag at this stage? No, because he is on an outlap, and that is all over for him at this stage. Rounding through the triple right-hander, but Cotter takes P1 provisionally here. He's going to get that chocky done. McEwen's got no answer for him as he crosses the line now for P3. What is Cicluna going to do? The timing tower's not telling me in the background what he's up to. Scotty Garrick is not on an improvement lap either. So he's going to have to settle for 4th at best at this stage. Pulls it into the pit, says that's enough. And he's got done by Nick Mallow at the dying moments there. So Scotty Garrick done by Nick Mallow. 0.5 of a second, the only gap now. What have we got here? Anyone crossing the line for a quick lap? No, they're all peeling into the pits here by the looks of that one. So let's have a look at this one. Who is that crossing the line now? Is that an improvement there for Jason No, that's not McFadden. That is one of the rang-out cars, not the one we want to. Let's go to the results. Officially, let's see what we've got here. We've got Makota, P1, Daniel Cicluna, second place, McEwen in third. Great drive from all of these guys. Top 4 split by half a second. Top 5, Marshall, Garrick, Nielsen, Hanley, Ferguson and Lachlan Grant come into play there as well for your top 10, Christopher Munro. Who have we got down the rest?
Let's have a look here. We've got Dion Clerk in 11th position, Nathan Hughes in 12th, Alan Nielsen with Scott Cortum, Andre Elliott, Brandon Pierce down there in 16th. Disappointing showing from him after being so in hot form last week. Sam Spencer on debut and has jumped up a few spots. Great qualifying session from him, 17th. Benny Asplin in 18th with Jesse Marshall. Ezra Simons in 20th. Clint Goff, the fireman, out there in 21st. Jason McFadden, Hayden Cook. Tony DeLuca is in 24th position. That is the end of the list there. Gearing up for 2 hours of racing. Fabian Fitness in the chat says mid-pack is tight. It is. It is absolutely tight, and I've got a feeling it's going to be like that for the next 2 hours as well, Zach O'Reilly.
Yeah, definitely. We've got heaps of fans. We've got Kirsty and the younger Hanley both cheering on Dean there. That'll be good to see. Fergo and Scotty from AC Karting. That'll be Johnny in the chat there having a bit of a cheer for him. And it's going to be interesting, ladies and gents. 2 hours is a long time. Lots of pit stop strategies, lots of trials and tribulations. Are the boys going to be basically gentlemanly like for the first opening couple of laps? Or they're all going to try and win it at turn 1 to try and fight for P1, which will ruin some people's nights? That is what we're going to find out soon. Hopefully they've got the ladder in their heads, so you know what to do. Let's get set. Let's get racing. 2 hours, not far away, here at SimSational TV and AK Racing's V8 Gen 3 Supercars on the bend. What more do you want on a Sunday night? Nothing, because you're here with us, Christopher Munro, Zach O'Reilly, calling the action. We'll be back for all that in just a few moments.
It's race time, ladies and gentlemen. Racing fans around the country. How many we got watching here at the moment? We got 34 of the most beautiful people in the world watching our stream now tonight. Kirsty Hanley is one of them. Fingers crossed for a clean start. It's a long race. See, a lot of time it's the viewers that have the most wisdom. But tell you what, once a few of these guys strap the helmets on, the brain goes in the back pocket. And chaos ensues. But we do have a fully fledged team of race directors and safety car drivers out there. So if any of that happens, be aware there will be safety cars out on track. Thin Lib says, "Sup, chat. Sup to you, indeed. Thanks for joining in. We got a minute and 58 to go. Let's run through the orders, Zach O'Reilly."
Yeah, have a look at this one. You got the man who nearly set the lap record, couldn't beat mine. 150.9 was me, but Makota got close.
Too good.
1 minute 51.1 got him pole position. Daniel Cicluna got second place there with Alex McEwen and Nick Mallow side by side. The teammates off the second row together in 4th and 5th. Harley Marshall and Scotty Garrick 5th and 6th respectively, with Ryan Nielsen 7th and 8th. Goes to Dean Hanley. Jack Ferguson in 9th, and Lachlan Grant rounded out that top 10 as well. Dion Clerk and Nathan Hughes, 11th and 12th. Great driving from both of them. That's going to be a good battle to look out for. Nielsen Cordham, Doc Elliott in 15th. Then you've got Pierce. Sam Spencer has just not entered the thing again. Don't tell me. Benny Asplin and Jesse Marshall in 20th. Simons, Goff, McFadden, and Cook with DeLuca rounding out the last of the grid. And you can see there too, ladies and gentlemen, look at those different strategies. We've got hard tyres, we've got soft tyres, we've got everything in between, and we've only got a minute left to go. So, who's going to be the crown of the? Who's going to be the king of the bend, so to speak? Who's going to think with their brains and not their middle leg to start this one? It's going to be all down to the universe to give us that script and show us for the rest of it. Christopher Munro, viewers out there, great to have you with us. It is going to be an absolute belter here at the bend. Let's go bloody racing.
Let's go racing, ladies and gentlemen. I think, as you said that, Zach, I think that's why we were so good in the hot seat. We never had the option of thinking with the middle leg because it was more like a middle twig. It was all big brain in the top end of the department there.
Yes.
So, yeah, we didn't have to worry about that. The big T getting in the way. Don't you worry about that. But wise words from the super coach in the chat. Fabian Fitness says, send it up the inside. I don't know about that, mate. We'll let's keep it all ordinary because it's about time to go racing here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start from the chopper cam and see who gets the jump off the line. It's Matt Cotter in the first phase, but look at Daniel Cicluna in the second phase, just getting a little bit squirrely. Tell you what, Alex McEwen's had the start of a lifetime. Here he goes now, looking for a spot down the inside. Matt Cotter swerves to the inside, just covering it up. Matt just going deep as well. Here goes Cicluna looking on the inside, but McEwen. Wow, a little bit of pushing and shoving there. McEwen getting hung out to dry as well. Here's Scotty Garrick just hanging around on the inside too. Harley Marshall making it around the outside there as well. Now they all will file, single file down the back straight, and it looks like everyone's got through without tears in their eyes. That's good to see. Back down the field though, it's all battling here. We got Lockie Grant and Ryan Nielsen, and who's that? Just locking up the brakes there. Dion Clerk in the Supra just manages to avoid disaster there, hitting the back of Jack Ferguson. But here they go. Looks like Matt Cotter's out to a little bit of a lead, but McEwen and his old mate Scotty Garrick now. Oh, no, that's Harley Marshall getting hip and shouldered off the track. Let's get a closer view of what's going on here. McEwen will just slot into third position with Scotty Garrick, but back here they're going too wide. That's Ryan Nielsen, Lockie Grant around, just sort of getting hung up to dry out there around the outside. But look, here goes Harley Marshall again. We're going to ride on top board here on the chopper cam. A little bit of contact too, a bump and run perhaps, but they hold their positions nicely. That's I don't know how they've both kept it on the circuit there. Ryan Nielsen and Lockie Grant side by side. Grant just getting the better of it, and Ferguson as well, 2x2 with Dion Clerk on his outside. It's a hard spot to force an overtake, but Jack Ferguson's going to try it. He's not going to be able to get that thing pulled up, and there goes Dion Clerk off into ninth position. Now Benny Asplin just sending it from fucking miles back. Here he goes and gets that job done. He might get a 2-for-1 here. Caught Dion Clerk napping. What a beautiful move there. Benny Asplin on the move, literally and figuratively. And here goes Ferguson getting that position back off Dion Clerk. What a great start to this race, Zach O'Reilly.
It's all on like Donkey Kong here. There's sheep station stuff over the top 10. You got Ferguson in a freight train there between Hughesy and Clerk. 3 wide here coming into T1. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. And he got a send from a mile away from Doc Elliott. Oh, geez, how'd they all get through that? That is Benny Asplin getting through. Nielsen's in front there too. Look at them all go line astern. We've got Ferguson now in the battle of his life. You see them all having a good crack here. You can have a see at what these boys are doing. They're sliding, they're slipping, they're oversteering on exit. They're going forward here. Pearso is just in the thick of this one, shitting himself dead set. I'll tell you what, he's got Jack Ferguson behind him. Doc Elliott squeezed his way through. That was cracking racing. How they all got through there without contact, I'll never bloody know. But that was sensational. Here goes Fergo on the inside of Pierce now. We've got a 2x2 battle into the triple right-hander. Fast as you like through here. It's all about nailing that throttle exit and throttle mark, and getting the dab of the brakes perfect, because this double apex here is crucial to gain lap time. What can you do? See the different approach, fast in, slow out for Fergo at this stage. The opposite there for Pierce in front, and a little bit of a shallow line versus a late apex there for Pierce versus Ferguson. And you can see there's many ways to do it. This is cracking racing. The lead at the moment is only split by a couple of tenths. McFadden's on the charge here. He's got past Alan Nielsen there for 15th. Easy as you like. The good racer is McFadden. He's just got to stick fat as the rest of this pack stream through here. You can see that DeLuca, Simmons, and poor old Nick Mallow are way, way down. What happened to him, we'll never know. Dead set last at this stage, but it's on. We've got a little bit of a field spread now between these boyos, but it's getting spicier. Don't you worry about that. They're all line astern. Nielsen here on the back of Lachlan Grant. Benny Aspin's on the back of Nielsen too now. So 3/10 splitting these guys, and it looks like Grant now is a bit of a cork in the bottle situation. Oh, that's Marshall off the road there. That's going to hurt his exit speed. Are these boys going to come at a rate of knots here like Scandia versus a bloody tinny? I'll tell you what, it's on here. Marshall's going to be looking in his mirrors. Where are these boys? They're not far enough up. Is there going to be a sendo from Grant up the inside? Not this time, but he's going to be a hell of a lot closer. A bit screwy was Grant there on the approach into T1. That's going to hurt him, but Marshall now, we've got his skin He's back on. Ron Marshall's just given him the donors between the race sessions and said he can put them on, boys. I'll get back into Teely there, and that'll come off the will.
Yeah, absolutely. Ron Marshall, the team boss for MBR, the Marshall Brothers Racing Team, always in the chat and happy to share his opinion as well. And it's most welcomed indeed. Yeah, he's on the phone to the sponsors and said, no, that hiatus has now been sorted and the sponsorships are back on the card. Never mind that, but here goes Benny Asplin as well. He's on fire today, and he's not afraid to send it in the early stages of this Enduro race. You wouldn't think it's a 2-hour race the way he's come out firing here. He's got Ryan Nielsen in front. Let's get a view of inside the vehicle. We can see a bit of the wheel work here from Benny Asplin. Really doing well. He is on the soft compound tyre, mind you, so he has got a little bit of pace up his sleeve. Ryan Nielsen trying to just squeeze him into the inside. This could be, oh, what a beautiful overtake there from Benny Asplin. Just awareness 101, and hats off to Nielsen as well. He saw him coming and just got out of it. But Ryan, Dion Clerk in the Lonely Supra. No, there's two Supras. Ezra Simons down there in 21st position as well. He is up there flying the flag for Toyota today. We're going to
look at us on the dash.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, hello, ladies. We've got front row sponsorship there. Ryan Nielsen going defensive into the final turn. That might just end up biting him in the ass because he gets a shallow entry, which means a shallow exit and not a very good momentum buster there. Here goes Dion Clerk, the Toyota Supra, making waves down the outside here. He's going to have pretty much a full overlap here. He might just be able to squeeze him and take that inside line. He doesn't have to because he will have the inside for the next turn. Ryan Nielsen hanging it fat, though. He'll slide that up the inside there. Dion Clerk missing his brake marker there. And there goes Ryan Nielsen up into 9th position. The battle's on here for the top 10. I'll tell you what. Look at that. Husey chiming in with Andre Elliott and Jason McFadden. Not too far behind those two as well, Zach O'Reilly.
Yeah, look at this. You can't even blink an eye at the moment because you'll miss something. These guys are having a ripping old time out there on the circuit. You can see a little bit of squirrely arse and wagging action there from Dion Clerk. He's just trying to get that thing straightened up and on the respectable side. Doesn't want to be twerking all race because he'll just invite all the boys behind him full of testosterone, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But they're ready to rock and roll. Is Nielsen. He's on the defence hard here, just trying everything he can, making the shallow exits, getting the car mid-track there, and nearly a punterino there with Nathan Hughes on the back of Dion Clerk. That was spicy indeed. But Dion is really, really handing the back here of Nielsen. He's going to send up the inside. Can he get it done, Nobu, without overshooting the exit? He can't. No. And now Nielsen's going to send it up the inside and nearly going to be two places here. Super stuff there. He still keeps it on the track here. Oh, a bit of door bumping too there between them. But Dion gets it squirreled up on the exit and points it out the other end. Dirty Tyres takes an overtake. That is so far overtake of the night there from Dion Clerk.
Wow.
Beautiful stuff there from him. Nielsen now has got an angry gaggle of cars behind him. He's got Doc Elliott, Husey, and McFadden all coming through. And you can see there, Elliott's lost it to McFadden. McFadden's up the inside. The two Rangout boys having a good old tussle here. They're not best of friends on the circuit in their own server. Can they keep it clean here at AK Racing? They do for now. We're going to see some tears here, and we'll hear about it on a Tuesday night. I'll tell you that. But cracking racing involved here. Dino Hanley's on the charge of his life here in 5th place. He's up, he's overall 4 positions up. Benny Asplin's up 13 behind him. So look at those two guys having a go. Look at Scotty Garrick's shallow entry there for him. Dino's running the mid-track wideness sort of style and doing 155s, 54-ishes on a hard compound tyre, Christopher Munro. That is nothing to shy about here. It's going to be paying dividends for them. What will the pit stop strategical department be like in the Hanley household? We'll only find out.
Yeah, big lock up there. Maybe, all these cars will be fueled to the absolute brim as well. So it depends whether these guys have done their practice with a full load of fuel on as well. I know I used to do a little bit of a very minimal amount of practice with a full fuel load on. It was always, just get her with a 3 or 4. Here goes Hanley. Oh no, he's tapped Garrick, and he's come out second best on that one as well, and probably fair enough too. He deserved that. That was a little bit too ambitious, should we say, in the opening stanza of a 2-hour race. There's no need to go for that kind of rubbish.
Get into him, Kirsty.
Yeah, absolutely, Kirsty. You go into the sim room and give him a little slap across the ears. But here goes Dion Clerk now up the inside of Lockie Grant, should I say. Gets that job done easily. He's making his way forward here on the soft compound tyre, and I like the strategy, to be honest. There's only, let me count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars that opted to start off the soft compound tyre, which is a surprise to me, Zach O'Reilly, because that's probably what I would have done.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing, but you've got to keep in mind, if you are either in P1, 2 or 3, it's probably the best place to do it. If you're outside the top 10, in my eyes, it is the place to do it. And that is exactly where Dion Clerk was. He started in 12th place and got on the soft compound, and he's making his way through the field. So is Benny Asplit, right behind him, up 14 positions. If you believe that or not, it is correct, because that's where he goes. Now you can see what these boys are racing. They're all racing now on equal compounds in this duo, or trio nearly, because there's Jack Ferguson trying to set up the inside of Hughesy. Nearly took out the front bumper on his car and the rear on Hughesy's, but got it pulled up at the last moment, just on the brink of the edge of nothing. And Fergo's now getting hounded by the magician, Brandon Pierce, behind him too. So it is now all Mustang here. Full on between these three, 13, 14, 15. All the Blue Oval fans will be going wild. You can't see any of them, ladies and gentlemen, but they're out there. I'll tell you what, at the minimum grandstands here at the Bend, they still get about 450,000 per race, I've been told. So, nonetheless, South Australia doing the motorsport factory proud, and it's not over here between these boys at all, nor is it realistically between the front two. We haven't called them much so far, Scaluna and Cotter. It's only 7 or 8 tenths piece between these two boys, so super consistent here. Cotter setting personal best at the moment, just on the brink of his personal fastest lap, which is a 54 dead, basically. Scaluna behind him. He's doing similar lap times, I would presume. Actually, I'll just check quickly. Yeah, basically the same. In fact, Scaluna's done the quickest lap of the race out of everyone so far. That is why that gap is only 6 tenths of a second. So Cotter's got a bit to work out for here. The part-timer in Scaluna comes back from his fly-in, fly-out work, just hops on with no expectations, Christopher, and nothing to be pressurised about. Just goes out, does his racing, and that is probably a trump card in the mental gamemanship, that's for sure.
Oh, it sure is. You can't be more prepared for a race than being underprepared, in my mind. You'll find the guys that go out there and do your 500 laps practice and your 6,000 hours setup work, they have high expectations of themselves. And then that just piles on the pressure mentally. But Scaluna comes back from his FIFO job, jumps in the sim on the afternoon, and he's like, oh, I'm happy with a top 10, a top 15, a top 20 perhaps. But look at this. Here goes Ryan Nelson. Oh, no. Lockie Grant has just tagged McFadden. He goes around, so he's going to have to wait for him. But the battle continues. Ferguson and Elliott now side by side. Look at that. Oh, Elliott just dropping off the pace there, going a bit too wide. Ferguson, what a race from him, just keeping his nose clean. The magician, almost gets his nose cut off in turn. Let's look out the front of his car. He's just got a small overlap here, and he's just going to send it. Has the inside line, and Elliott gives him plenty of room. Little lock up there, more smoke than Willie Nelson's trailer there. But these two guys are going side by side. Elliott just getting the better of that now. He will dive down through the little roller coaster section in front, and this little section of the track, you just have to be single file, otherwise you are going to lose out big time. Disappointing to see there from, who was it that came flying in there for...
Nielsen.
It was Nielsen, and McFadden was the victim as well. He was the biggest one. He got turned around, dropped back about 10 positions there in the end. It is a long race, mind you. 1 hour and 46 seconds to go. So plenty of time to make that up. Here comes Clint Goff on the comeback as well.
Yeah, Clint Goff's up there. Don't worry about it. He'll be far goffing into the distance at some stage. McFadden at that stage was up 12 positions from where he started. And now he's back 2 places from where he was, unfortunately for him. So a little bit of a disaster here. Dean Handley, however, has got back past Harley Marshall now. Yeah. So this is a race on. Benny Aspin scalloped the way up the road from that incident, but he's back on the rhythm. Kersey's giving him a good old slap, probably in the middle leg, and he doesn't want to get any of that more treatment for the rest of it. The pressure's on, but look at Dion. Look at the speed of this bloody Supra here. Tell you what, that thing looks slippery. It is slippery in a straight line. He's just going to get the suck, and is he going to take it over Lachlan Grant in front of Harley Marshall? In front of him? No, because Marshall was on the perfect brake marker there. Dion probably could have been a little bit more aggressive, but still, choosing the wiser option there, not doing what we saw beforehand prior of the lap at the same place of all over the minor positions. But 6th, 7th and 8th is the property at the moment to be at. Now, if you're on the Monopoly board, you'd be wanting to roll the dice straight to the strand here because this is the biggest real estate at the moment on track. You can see them all having 3 or 4 different lines there, full wide stuff, and then late apex for Dion Clerk. Dino sticks mid-track. Harley goes for the shallow, more mid-exit sort of style, and that all works out in sundry. Many places to drive here at the bend, but also many techniques to do it, including four-wheel drifting there from Mr. Dion Clerk. But Ferguson here, full on sliding it through. That's wide there from Doc.
Elliot.
Doc's going to be off the track here if he's not too careful. He is. He's got back on the circuit, however, safely rejoined in a safe manner, but his tyres will be as cold as an Eskimo's tool, and that held up Ferguson into Brandon Pierce, who nearly punted off Ferguson, just trying to check himself up over Andre Elliott's mistakes. They all survived that one. Thank goodness gracious me. That could have been a big crash as well. But as the sun is coming through the proverbials onto the windscreen, these guys now are really, really racing. Doc is under all sorts of pressure here, and it is cracking stuff. It is battles all up and down the field, and we've still got an hour and 44 minutes to go. Where else do you want to be? Right here at SimSational TV.
That's exactly right, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, give us a subscribe and a like on the channel. We have hit our short-term goal of 1,000 likes. We got a special rev up from the Whiz Capper as well.
Oh yeah!
If you didn't see that on the last Wednesday Cup transmission, our broadcast there was fantastic. But keep the love coming in. We enjoy it, and we appreciate every single one of you guys for watching the channel. Down here, Hayden Cook now, he's on the charge. He's got caught him down there. He's actually caught him down there caught him napping as well down the main straight. They're going to go 3 wide. Looks like Cook's just pulled out of it, but now modulating the brake and doing a nice job because Cordham and Marshall just getting a little bit tangled up there. Scotty getting the better of these two, and now Marshall and whoa, geez, that was close. Cookie just getting the better of him as Marshall goes just a little bit deep. But that battle is going to continue now, right up down this secondary little not so straight. You can hold it wide open if you've got the wing on the back. Great move by Jesse Marshall there. Caught him napping. He goes down the inside. No! Here goes Jason McFadden joining the party as well. Getting Alan Nielsen absolutely got him out of nowhere there. Caught him napping. We're going to ride on board with Nielsen because he's got a pretty good view of all this happening. He's got McFadden in front, Cook in front of him, and Jesse Marshall heading off this little group of 4 as they head up the little whoop-de-doos here. This is a great fun section. There goes McFadden. A little too much car there for him this time, and he will off into the grass. Oh, disaster for Rangy, disaster for Jason McFadden. But let's see, he gets himself back out on the track, so no harm, no foul, just loses a couple of positions and a couple of clicks in the old ego department.
Yeah, sometimes it hurts. You just go beyond that point of adhesion on the tyre, and that is what can happen. You can see now the chef here really undercooked at the moment in 15th, but he'll get further up the grid. He's got Jesse Marshall in front of him to navigate. Doc Elliott's also come to a proper 2. He's just lost a couple of positions there to Ferguson and Pierce. So, and he's well and truly hot on those tyres. Something did happen, but back to this battle. Don't worry about that. You can see Nielsen now giving a little bit of curry here to the chef because he's pushing him along, which is entailing pushing him into Jesse Marshall. So a bit of swapping for positions. Dion's had enough on those soft tyres. 9 laps, perfect amount of time there for those soft tyres. We learnt from the Tier 2 race prior to this one. 10 laps is too far. 9 is the point of not. So we're going to see Dion go further down the grid, but you'll be interested to see what tyre he does come out on because that is the first of the 2 mandatory stops that these guys have to take. Minimum of 2 tonight. And it's going to be one of those events where we see people last minute dash into a pit stop and could take victory or maybe just gain some positions with an undercut. But that is all to be one done and run at the latter stages of this one. We've got plenty of time left there and 41 minutes left into this race, and it's still on like Donkey Kong. Look at Nielsen now trying to gather positions on the chef. The chef, however, is realistically right there. He's got to get onto the back of Jesse Marshall. Marshall needs to not make an error because he's got a fair bit of a gap between himself and Shane Cordham in front of him in 12th place. So let's keep an eye out on that one. However, I reckon Jack Ferguson here and Nathan Hughes with Ryan Nielsen, the other one, they're having a good old tussle here. This is a 3-way suck train here. Ferguson's at the back. Ryan Nielsen's the cork in the bottle. What can Nathan Hughes do? Mr. Drifter himself in that Castrol Tommy Randall style. See if he can get further up the grid, Christopher.
One of my favourite liveries too on the grid in real life too. I just love the colour codes. It's like a retro feel, but in a modern sense. So I really enjoy that livery as well. So Hughesy's made a good choice there in the livery department. But he's got Ryan Nielsen going semi-defensive, maybe not so much in the braking zone, but just signalling to Hughes, say, look, if you're going to try something, I'm onto you. I've got one eye in the rearview mirror, just waiting for you to have a little crack, son, and I'll be there waiting, placing my car in the correct spot. And look at the Mustang, look at the drive out of the final turn there that Nielsen has enjoyed. He's just gapped poor old Hughesy down the main straight, and that might just have him fall into the clutches of Junior Ferguson here in the other Mustang. There's a group of three. Oh no, that's an absolute send. But I tell you what, a controlled send nonetheless. These two guys trading a little bit of paint through turns 2 and 3. It is Junior Ferguson taking the inside line, so shallow on the exit, but a beautiful textbook block pass there. There's nothing Hughesy could do. There was nowhere for him to go. You can't drive through them, ladies and gentlemen. You have to go around. So that's a fantastic overtake. Great awareness there from Ferguson. He goes up into the top 8. I've just been made aware for the second time as well. I did see this earlier on, but our man Nick Mello is down here in 17th position. Did we see or have any idea what happened to him and how he got down this far in the field?
I will investigate that one, Christopher. I'll talk to race directors, and you keep commentating. This battle is on here.
Yeah, absolutely. We did. Absolutely. Who was it? Clerk is out on the softs again, says Fitness. So he's doing a double stint on the soft. So he is on fresh, soft rubber, which is going to make things hard for Nick Mello. But I tell you what, not hard enough, because there he goes through on a not conventional place that you're going to find an overtake happen, and he's just got the two Supras in the same racing team now tied up together. Dion Clerk and Simons will be on the comms saying, now what do we do here? Do we do some team orders? Yeah, they do. It says Simon says, you know what? I think I've got a little bit more pace than you, old son. I'm going to have a little bit of an attack. I'll tell you what, if I was the team director here right now, I'd say you've got about half a lap to get that job done, Mr. Simons. Otherwise, we are going to be turning the screws. In saying that, I've got my Supras wrong. That is Dion Clerk. He is on the fresh rubber, and he just goes straight up the inside of Nick Mello. That's going to be frustrating for Mello, who is on the comeback trail, I assume, from some sort of disaster to end up down the back straight. And now he's got the Team Supra now with fresh rubber straight out of the pits in front of him, and making his life difficult, Zachariah.
He is, and Nick Mello did not make it to the race at the start, hence why he started where he did.
Yeah, right.
So nothing suspicious, just not getting in time, and that's where he's got to do. But Dion now, he's gone for a second set of softs here. So one stop done, 2 sets of soft compound. So I'm anticipating a double hard run for this man to finish this race. You'll get about 25-ish laps, I've been told, out of those hard compound tyres before they are too far gone. And if we work that out, that is about 50 minutes or so. So maybe just a long stint, or maybe a 3-stopper coming his way. But this battle is spicing up now. Look at Cicluna. He's got the edge over us, Matt Cotter, at the moment in the pace department. Realistically, it was out to 1.2 seconds about 4 laps ago. Now it's down to about 3 or 4 tenths. So Scar's just really nursing those tyres by the look of it. The driving style of Matt Cotter, sliding that thing in and around and everywhere, will probably hurt him in the longer run. But get those tyre to it does definitely, Christopher, at 100%. But at the moment, looking very racy, these two at the front. It is a battle of absolute frustration here right now. This track, I can guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, it looks really good fun to drive around, but when you are equal dead on pace with the guy in front of you, it's all one error that takes you to be 1/10 closer or 1/10 back, maybe a couple of 2 steps forward and 3 steps back situation for these boys. But keeping it clean, keeping each other honest, and look at Dino Hanley trying to claw his way back through the field, and he's got it into turn 1 nicely, just on the point of not. Got it into 4th place. He goes again. Scotty Garrick had to give that one up. And now it should be march onwards here for Dean Hanley, just trying not to overshoot it into too many corners. And he's got 4th place, 11 seconds up the road. Mind you, is Alex McEwen. That is quick territory up there. What can Dino and Scotty do?
Yeah, well, they're going to battle it out, that's for sure. But it looks like Hanley's just got the better pace at the moment in this race. And it's probably good for, I guess, Scott Garrick to maybe not get involved in too much lungery at the moment, because if that's even a word, Jesus Christ. Just making up words here in the SimSational commentary box, and why not? Because we are the purveyors of the English language. Don't you worry about that. Here goes Scotty Garrick, just getting a little bit wiry as well. But as I've said before, in the endurance races, you don't want to be tangled up in unnecessary battling. If you can sit in behind your adversary, so to speak, and still pump out some pretty good lap times, there's no need to force the overtake and, I guess, devolve the battle into a spot where both your pace are compromised. So if you want to battle the guy in front, you could be losing 3-4 seconds a lap around all the other guys that you are racing. So sometimes it's good to just pop your little brain in, get the red mist, or get the cloth on the passenger seat and just rub the red mist away from your visor on your helmet and say, you know what, I might just sit behind him here, get the suck, and really make my intentions clear that I'm not going to go for an overtake. I'm just going to sit behind you and we're going to work together and pump out some hot laps. Speaking of which, these guys aren't following that clue. Here goes the Magician up the inside of Elliott. A little bit of contact as well once we got to that view. And Elliott, whoa, almost losing it there on the final turn. But Brandon Pearce has the run here on Hughesy. He's got the suck. He's going to pull out of the slipstream. They are side by side now, heading into the braking zone here at turn 1. I expect Pearce to get this pulled up.
No.
And as soon as I say that, he's sailed it straight off the edge of T1. Andre Elliott's going to make that position back again. Thank you very much. The Magician has to put that rabbit back in the hat for now. Holy moly. The battle at the front is just sort of eking around the... we're just making up words left, right, and centre here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Around the 4.5 tenth mark. So every time I get excited, I see it getting close to the 3/10 mark. I see, they might be engaged in a battle. But also, these two guys are very smart racers. Daniel Cicluna probably thinks there is no point battling now because they can both work together, and it seems that's what they're doing to gap the rest of the field. As we've seen in the past, Alex McEwen, we've hardly called his name all night, is one of the speediest customers on the planet. And given his day, he could chase these guys down if he wanted to. But it's probably best to make hay while the sun shines. And that's what these two guys are doing at the moment. Just taking a couple of tenths out of them at the moment. Matt Cotter, geez, he loves to get the arse end out on that thing, doesn't he?
He does, absolutely. Saw it on the final quarter there, just full wagon. Absolutely ridiculous. Pulled it up, however. So really good car control, but it's getting to that point now where, as you said, that red mist is starting to maybe descend a little bit here too. But the beauty of this is these guys aren't holding each other up. And this one here, however, complete opposite. They are holding each other up. Yeah. There goes Nathan Hughes off. There goes Brandon Pearce around the outside. Gets that job done. Fully just last-minute reaction time. That was just a miracle that didn't come into absolute disaster there for all three. But now Hughes is going to have to suck. Is Pearce going to go full defensive? He's gone right to the outside, so Nathan Hughes got nowhere to go but around the left-hand side of the circuit, down the straightaway. Who's braver under brakes? We'll find out in just a hot second. You can't see Pearso there at the moment. Hughes has gone wide, so Pearso's still there. And now that is a definite P10 move there between Nathan Hughes and Brandon Pearce. Ninth place for Pearso now. Can he keep the chockies together and go forwards and keep racing on from here? I need to exit the commentary box, go to the race directors and report to them. Christopher Munro, I'll be back in a hot second. Alrighty,
as we join the action down here, it looks like Lockie Grant and Jesse Marshall just smoke signals everywhere. But these two white Camaros getting right stuck in. Lockie Grant just making his way. He's probably a little bit out of position, if I can say that. We've seen him in the past being one of the speedier customers. You'd expect him up there in at least the top 10 or at least the pointy end of the top 10. So he's probably feeling a little bit frustrated down here, a little bit further down than he is used to. Beautiful livery as well. Let's get a closer look at that. Where is my mouse has disappeared? There we go. Look at that. Beautifully done there. I think David Thornton had something to do with that. Anyway, let's get off that because Dion Clerk has made his way up behind Jesse Marshall. Look at that. He's going to actually... Oh, he almost sent it there into the second last corner. But it was enough to force the mistake there from Jesse Marshall. It wasn't the second to last corner. It just looked like that. But it was enough to put him off his game. And Dion Clerk just on the soft tyre. He's probably the only one in the field. There's a couple down the back there who have also opted for the soft tyre at this stage of the race. And look at him just go past Lachlan Grant like he's standing still. The Supra is hooked up today. Dion Clerk has done his practice. He's done his setup work, and that Supra is looking quite quick at the moment. We'll see how that handles once he gets the hard tyres on at some stage during this race. That is a compulsory thing to do. Don't you worry about that. We've got word from the MBR team boss. Harley's in the pits for a set of softs. So we've seen him come back out in 17th position now. He's on the softs. He's got a 11-second gap in front of him to Mello. So that's pretty good pit stop control there from the MBR team. They've popped him out in clear air. So that's absolutely perfect, especially on a set of softs. So now's the time, Ron, to get on the whistle to young Harley and say, mate, it's hammer time. Time to put in some qualifying laps until you can eke that gap out to the car in front. But, Hughesy just having a bit of a moment there, letting Scott Cordham through. And that's the battle for the top 10. Scott Cordham goes through as well. That's beautiful driving from the boss man there at AK Racing. As you can see, sporting the AK Racing Signia there on the side of that Camaro, looking fantastic. As I said, there's probably too many yellow and black cars out there for me. It's like a hive of bumblebees out there. But anyway, let's go to a couple of cars that aren't yellow and black. Brandon Pierce, the magician. He's on the hard compound. He's got half a second up the road to Andre Elliott. You've seen these guys in some tight battles before as well. And let's ride on board. Out the front window there.
What happened, Mr.
Fabian Fitness goes bang with a $3 donation. Thank you very much for the super chat. He says, any safety cars tonight, I wonder? Well, you'd have to wonder because, I mean, for a 2-hour race, you'd expect there to be a safety car at some point, surely. I know the race directors are keeping their eyes open for any small details that may arise in a safety car. And as we know in the racing rules at AK Racing, if the race director deems it appropriate for a safety car to be called, then that is the final word about it. So he has control of that. He is keeping an overview of this whole race, and he has an idea about when and where to call one if there is indeed one to be called.
Yes.
So Zach O'Reilly is back now from the race director's box, so fresh in that land as well. So how is that? Any new information that we can find out?
There is information, and
All right.
I reckon it's a good time for us, with a little bit of lull in proceedings, to let's ride on board for a lap with someone. And you can hear the sounds of the V8 supercars go absolutely nuts. Get the volume cranked up here. We're going to ride on board with Scotty Garrick here for his lap from this corner, which is the second to last one by the looks of it here, coming into the bend. Get them cranked up. Zach and Christopher Munro are going to be back here in just a hot second. Don't go anywhere.
What happened, Mr. Jupa?
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, after a little break here in the commentary box. But Scott Garrick, as you can hear, the V8 Supercars sounds absolutely brilliant. Liam Hanley, though, in the meantime, has dropped a little super chat as well. Thank you very much, and hope you're recovering well after the Super 2 race. You did absolutely fantastic there. And good to see you chiming in for the main game as well. Scott Garrick now currently 5th position. He's got 10 seconds up the road to Dean Hanley himself. We're going to have to cross to the front because Daniel Cicluna was two tenths quicker than Matt Cotter on that last lap alone. So he's made up a fair bit of headway. You can just almost smell the cologne choice of young Matt Cotter there in front. You reckon he's a Dior man? I reckon he might be a brute man, or is he? Let us know in the chat.
He is a pommy. He is a pommy.
So he's a Lynx fella.
Could be a Lynx, yeah. Yeah. The old Lynx chocolate from 2004.
Let us know in the chat. What kind of cologne do we think Matt Cotter wears?
That's going to be a ripper to absolutely answer. Give us your best thoughts out there, ladies and gentlemen. That's the question. You just have to give us the first one that pops to your head. That's the rule. What cologne does one Matthew Cotter wear is the question. So give us your best in the chat there. Look at this. 2 Marshall brothers, line astern. One on a soft compound in Harley and Jesse on the hard too. So got to keep your eye out for that one coming in. And there goes Jesse in. So Harley has pitted. He's gone from if you correct me if I'm wrong, from a hard to a soft now. So with an hour and 22 minutes left in this one, he's got about 10 laps to go. So about 20 minutes on these tyres thereabouts. And then he'll come in and have a go. And we've had some answers in the chat. Liam Hanley's come in and just gone David Beckham style.
Yes.
I reckon that's pretty accurate.
Not
That's
bad.
a good one. Maybe what happens if he likes the female assort and goes for the posh, the posh cologne? Who knows? Or maybe he's on the what's that guy's name? The bald-headed wombat. Mr. Masculine. What's his name? One who's Mr. Child Trafficker, allegedly.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's on Instagram, isn't he?
Yeah, the bald-headed dickhead, wears aviators, speaks like he's the king dick of everyone, and is just a creep. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But anyway,
doesn't deserve
matter.
the airtime, that's for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Who cares? But nonetheless, that's one answer. We need another one. We've got Versace. Eros, all blue. Well, okay, thin limbs. Let's get him amongst that one.
Yeah.
And let's go. But Scotty Corder now has got the chockies done. Doc's gone wide off into the bunda. So that is it. The racing still happens. You can talk as much nonsense as you want. The racing never ends. And we are on here. So now Scotty's into the top 10. So let's see what he can do and keep going. He's got 2.1 seconds up the road to that man, Brandon Pierce, who I think looked like he'd slid it in a little bit too hard, but pulled it up. Nonetheless, he's got a bit of a run to go on these hard compound tyres for now. We're 20 laps into this one, ladies and gentlemen, with an hour and 20 to go. So you do the math, and Cotter and Cicluna still only in 1 second gap. Hasn't gone anywhere further than that for the whole race. That is a sensational event drive for those two. But a little bit of lull in proceedings means we are going to get some action very, very shortly on the circuit.
Yeah, you'd hope so. And to continue the Cologne conversation, I know you're a big fan of the WD-40 as a cologne option, as so am I, actually.
Yes.
I could sniff that all day. It doesn't go down so well on the bus on the way to uni, but I tell you what, you get the odd bloke that gives you the wink, and he knows.
He knows.
He knows. It's not for the women, is it, ladies and gentlemen? It's for yourself, to make you feel good about yourself. And I tell you what, you wear a bit of WD-40 on in the morning, and the world's your oyster. That is for sure. I tell you what isn't the oyster, the absolute rubbish that comes out of my mouth sometimes, especially on a 2-hour enduro where there's not many scheduled breaks. And a bottle of red wine sitting in front of me. I mean, a bottle of red cordial. But here we go. There's a bit of action here. Here's Nick Mello on the comeback trail. He's got, that's Andre Elliott, and he's just giving him an absolute cold up the inside there. Jesse Marshall's the next victim on the order, but he's just got himself out of the pits. So Ron Marshall says he's coming out on softs, but he's actually on a set of hards there, and maybe that's a little mistake from the pit the pit engineers there. So he's come out on the wrong tyre compound and certainly locked him up down there into turn 6 and lets Nick Mello through on the inside. Only up to 13th, Zach O'Reilly. He's 41 minutes into this race, and we've seen in the past Nick Mello has navigated through a field in a matter of laps in his time. So he certainly must be under the weather today. I assume that's the reason why he didn't make the starting grid. Must have been busy on the old Royal Dalton.
There may be a couple of dodgy Vindaloos from the other night and was polishing the old Royal Dalton, so to speak. But it doesn't matter. He's in 13th. He's got a way big gap between himself and Dion Clerk, 13 odd seconds up the road. But that could all change as we see a position change here at the moment. Doc Elliott getting done there by Jason McFadden, who's come back from 19th twice in this race already as Jason. And with those hair follicles deal he's got there with his cousin of Brian, in Jason, he is well and truly bald tonight. Needs another 10,000 follicles on there to maybe get the sweat off his head and back into his paws, that's for sure. But look at this battle cracking on down the field here. I'll tell you what, Marshall and Alan Nielsen are not giving each other any room at this stage. Literally sheep stations between those two. The battle for 8th and 9th is spicing up. And it is Chevy versus the Ford, the blue oval, ready to rock and roll. But the director has just gone on leave. So we're stuck here with McFadden for now. And he's still trying to get on the comeback trail himself, because right now Jesse Marshall's that cork in the bottle between himself and Nick Mallow, who's just up the road there. And you can see him. But Marshall, right now, on the back of Nielsen, gets the job done. Got through to him finally, right at the perfect point of knot. And that is Marshall on that soft compound time, marching through the field. That hurt him. You can see he's 2 seconds down on his personal best, just sitting behind one of those Ford Mustangs. And this guy, Dion Clerk, 1.2 seconds away from his personal best on the soft compound tyres. Going to send up the inside very hard there. Nice. On one, Jack Ferguson gets the job done. Beautiful pass there. Really, really aggressive stuff. He's going to sit mid-track here, but Jack Ferguson still wants to try and go fight him again. Dion saw that, just went a little bit wide. Oh. Still tries to check him up mid-quarter there too. That was great defensive driving. Gets it all sorted. No worries at all. And Dion's going to sail off into the distance. The mid-corner speed, and is too much on those soft compounds versus the high. That's for sure. As I get into the second last turn of the bend. And we're on here. Look at McFadden now coming on the back train, on the comeback train. Jesse Marshall is his next target. Right on his arse end here. What can he do? Is he going to show the nose? Is he going to go send it up the inside? He is here. He just said, bugger it, I'm going for it. Jesse's seen him coming at the last moment. Up onto the curbs he goes. They don't door bang at all. Very nice awareness there. Car space given. AK Racing rules apply here. McFadden's just checked up, and he's going to go up the inside and sail it, because those hard compounds haven't got the grip. He's got the overlap here just, or has he? He's nearly there. I think Marshall's just good. No, he can't now. Can't go defensive. McFadden's on the charge. Soft compound tyre versus hard, and it looks like at the moment that Camaro's ready to go, and Jesse's got to be careful here too. Doesn't battle this one too hard, because Doc Elliott's right in and nearly took him now too. Oh, last minute there for Doc, gone off into the runoff area of the concrete section and pulled it up at the last minute. Jesse Marshall escaped death by an absolute bee's dick. Absolutely fantastic stuff there from Doc to avoid that one, and Marshall gallops on for another lap with McFadden.
Bee's dick, flea's dick. Get us into the chat. Who do you think's which animal has the biggest one? Let's we got to keep ourselves entertained here for 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. But we were in a bit of a lull, and then it was just all happening up and down the field. There was battles left, right and centre. Speaking of which, here's Hughes, here's Elliott, and Clinton Goff. Fuck off getting involved here. We're right on board with him. He's got the best seat in the house. Here goes Elliott up the inside. He's done a pretty good job there. That's a great... We've seen a couple of overtakes there tonight in that position. And I'll tell you what, it takes a big set of bollocks to have a crack up there. But Nathan Hughes, we're right on board with him. He's not letting go of the back of that Simblax Rangy Art car of Andre Elliott. Look at it, Elliott just swerving a little bit on the way up to the braking zone at 15. It's one of those ones where it's not illegal to do so, but it certainly sends a message to the bloke behind and says, you know what, this is not going to make, I'm not going to make it easy for you, and I'm going to have to keep you guessing. Hughesy in an absolute Rangy Art sandwich here at the moment. Beautiful liveries on all those Simblax cars as well, by the way. I really like how they've done the different colour schemes as well. But a little three-way battle here. We're right on board with Goff for a lap and see how he can attack Nathan Hughes in front if any of the other battles don't come to fruition, keeping in mind. In the meantime, keeping one eye on this race, Daniel Cicluna has made a pit stop, mind you, ladies and gentlemen. He is now 29 seconds off the second position car of Alex McEwen, which makes him, in turn, 36 seconds off the lead. And that is pretty much what a pit stop is going to cost you here at the Bend. So Daniel Cicluna opting to go for the undercut here on Matt Cotter, because we saw all through that first stint, those guys were only separated by, at most, 7/10 and at least about 3/10. So very, very evenly matched on the pace department. And, when they're pretty much evenly paced, you can't rely on a forced overtake. You have to kind of rely on a mistake to get past. So, or a strategy stroke of genius. And I think Daniel Cicluna being the first to sort of pull the pin and have a crack at an undercut, should I say, is admirable, to say the least. Here goes Harley Marshall up the inside of Scott Cordham. Cordham napping, should I say.
Ooh.
Hey, there, a bit
That's
of
a good
wordplay.
one.
Yeah, it was. He certainly, Scotty will not be caught napping the next time he sees Harley Marshall come up the inside there, but really has no answers for him up the main straight either. So Marshall will march on up to fifth position, and we'll keep an eye out for when Mr. Cotter does make his pit stop. So keep an eye on his best time there on the bottom right hand of your screen is a 1:53.805. He's currently doing 1:56s. So
this is costing him.
That's a 3-second difference, and I'm just going to flick to Cicluna and see what he's doing. Oh, he's already in front of him now. So when Cotter comes into pits, he will be second on the racetrack. And we've seen this time and time again of Matt Cotter. He gets, I swear, he just sort of gets in that trance state where he doesn't really think about the strategy and what's going on around him, and just takes those tyres and that fuel to the very end of their life. And it's going to cost him this time, Zach O'Reilly.
Big time. I was watching that Delta. The lap before, he was about half a second down on his personal best, and Cicluna was only 1/100th of his best place time on the hard compound. So well and truly one done and run at this stage for Matt Cotter's lead. It's gone. Because Cicluna is well and truly in that gap now. You can see it. It is 30 seconds now. So he'll be galloping about 3 seconds, 4 seconds up the road. Even more, because by the time Cotter comes in, pays a lap of cold hards, he's definitely not going to be getting that cold hard cash at this stage for this Enduro. And look at the slide. Look at the tyre action. Look at everything go. It is just not going the way at the Cotter. But that's okay. It's a long way to go. And that's what Alex McEwen sees. He knows that 24 laps is it for the hard compound. He's come in. What is he going to come back out on? Is he going to come out on the same compound as well? We'll find out as he gets out of the pits. He is on a hard compound. Beautiful stuff. Another strategy going, and I reckon at this stage, Cotter could be in a bit of trouble for even third place here if he can't get that thing pulled into the pits very shortly. Pearso! Oh, that was nearly Pearso into the back. Poor old Alex McEwen. Holy Scheisenhausen. That was dead set nearly into the books of the biggest punt we've seen. Pearso just locked it up. He's going to lose a place out of Harley Marshall now too. So that's it. Harley Marshall's got past him. The gift just keeps on giving for Marshall Brothers Racing here tonight. That soft compound tyre. He's in the right place at the right time for one of the Harley Marshalls on the track. In fact, just one of the Marshalls, because there's no two Harleys out there.
No, there's only one.
Fuck me.
Honestly. There's only one Harley, but there's certainly two Marshalls, and there's the team boss in the chat as well. It's hard to keep track of all you Marshalls out there. Plus, there's the track Marshalls as well. So to be fair, there's a shitload of them out there. So certainly sympathetic with your overload of Marshalls in the brain. It's coming out left, right, and centre. But Matt Cotter goes around again. Oh, he's just losing out.
His last lap was a 56.8, and his best was a 53.8. 3 seconds down now.
3 seconds down.
This could be a masterclass. I'm going to pick your brain here, Christopher. If he goes this long now, that means every other stint is shorter. Yeah. And that means by the time he comes out, if he goes for a double soft run or just a soft run at the end, where these boys have got the disadvantaged tyre life, so to speak, if this is what we're indicating here right now, it could be the great equaliser come to the back end of the race. If he's struggling like this now and the other boys do for their start, their last pit stint, it might still be on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, well, it just depends how far he can push, I guess, the set of softs at the end. Maybe not so much Cotter, because he will have the advantage of the fresh softs at the end. But I'll tell you what, Cicluna and McEwen will probably have to go a few extra laps, if not 3 or 4, maybe 5 extra laps on a set of softs, or perhaps aggregated over 2 stints on the softs. But I'll tell you what, he's not going to end up going a pit stop less. They're all going to probably go around at the same amount of pit stops, which really just, I think, just puts the ball in Daniel Cicluna's court still. And the fact that Cotter's going around again and again just is losing out in. And look at McEwen, he's only, well, he is 23 seconds behind, so he will still be in third position. But Cicluna well and truly in the lead of this race right now. Cotter has to come in this lap because he's hardly keeping that thing on the track. And the more he stays out there, the more the chances of disaster are going to happen. He goes around one more time, as Daft Punk has said in a million times. Oh, my goodness me. We're witnessing a self-implosion, perhaps, of egotistical, maniacal stuff here from Matt Cotter. Just sees the finish line. Oh, look at this. He's going to actually just hip and shoulder. Poor old, I assume that's Simons.
Oh, that was Dion Clerk.
It was Dion Clerk.
19th.
Yeah,
yes.
It was. And, well, we've seen the pace that he's had, but poor old Cotter wasn't standing for that. His last time around was a 1:57 for Daniel Cicluna, a 1:54, so 3 seconds ahead each time he goes around. So, yeah, Cotter could be 13, 14 seconds behind. Yeah, Fabian Fitness says Cotter needs to pit ASAP. Absolutely does.
Yep, I would agree. It's getting to that point now where it might not be that race, but if there is a safety car, Christopher, if there is that forbidden safety car that no one wants, it won't matter because they'll all be equalised at that stage. They'll all be bunched up within a second.
Yeah.
And I reckon Cotter's gambling on that to the end. That is my call from now. He's going long pain now. Long-term pain, short-term gain in the end. And we'll see what that comes to fruition. But it doesn't matter. That's all we have to find out for. We've got an hour and 6 minutes to go before it happens. And that is where it's going to be. But Nielsen, right now, is on track. Rounding the final turn here. Nick Mallow is in front of him. McFadden's in the pits now too. So he's coming out as we speak. He'll just be stationary for a moment as Nielsen. And Mallow, welcome to the top 10, Nicholas Mallow. You are in there, son, from dead set last on the grid. It's only taken you 54 minutes and 29 seconds to get there, but you are inside the top 10 now. This is going to be interesting for his strategy. Can he get to inside the top 5 by the end of it? It is anyone's bet, but that is something to think about. Dean Hanley in 7th place with Cordham in front of him, only 2 seconds up the road, 2 tenths up the road. This is getting a cork in the bottle situation here for Pierce, Cordham and Hanley. Could all come to fruition. Scotty Garrick's only 1.8 behind as well. Look at Hanley now. He's got the chockies here. Look at Cordham way wide. Again, being caught off the bloody apex for Shane. He's just, again, going to be up. And the inside here is Dean Hanley. Gets that job done. No contact made. Out of the way gets Cordham. Another advantageous position here done for Dino. That slap on the cock earlier from Kirsty has well and truly helped him. I'll tell you what, that is absolutely in. And here is that man we were talking about earlier. And look at the gap. There he's now into T1 in about 2 seconds' time. Is Cotter moving yet? I'm going to check on the other monitor while we watch Daniel Cicluna into final turn. Cotter is still stationary. It is now 2 turns. It is now going to be 3 turns before Matt Cotter is stationary as well before Cicluna. Now he's off, and he's McEwen probably could get him here. I reckon McEwen's going to get him because he's going to be on as cold as an Eskimo's dick tyres.
Yeah, look at
Matt
that.
Cotter. And look at this. Straight past goes McEwen as well. Big losses there for Matthew. Hopefully it turns into something at the end, but at the moment it is looking disastrous.
Yeah, just holding on to a good thing for a little bit too long there, Matt Cotter. Should have been keeping one eye on his delta and just probably thinking, man, if I'm 3 seconds down on my best lap, these guys that have come in for their pits are just putting up 3 seconds every time they go around. And look at the gap now. He's actually lost 24 seconds to Daniel Cicluna in that last stint. That's a big swing, to be honest. They were 4 tenths away from each other the last time that they were nose to tail, and I dare say it, they might not be nose to tail again come the next hour of this race. That's a big gap to overcome. But back here, Dean Hanley now giving Harley Marshall a bit of a hurry up here. No, Andre Elliott has received a drive-through penalty, and he's just taken it as well. Poor old Elliott. That's put him down into 14th position. Oh, that's heartbreak for him. But Hanley is now just hounding the back of Harley Marshall. He's got the run on him now up to turn, I think it's 15. Here he goes. Oh, side by side. Let's get a top view to see how we go here. You can see the sun, the shadows just starting to get a bit longer here in the afternoon. We've got an hour to go. Hopefully we've got enough sunlight to take us to the end of this race. But Dean Hanley coming good here in the mid-stage of this race, up to 4th position, and he's there fair and square, Zach O'Reilly.
The school of Zach O'Reilly really coming to fruition as well. You're watching it, the product on screen there, and then just as soon as I give it a plug, the director just says, piss off, mate. Not giving you any airtime. But Dino's driving well in 4th place. Nick Mello now is going for P8 here on Nielsen around the outside, trailer park girl style. Can he get a job done? No, not at this one. He's going to single file it back in. Look at Jesse Marshall behind, trying to pick up any crumbs from this battle. Now they're having a good old tussle. Inside the top 10 is Nick Mello. Dion Clerk also got a drive through for cutting, as we see on the screen. Disaster for Dion. Would have been up there in the top 10. Mello's ran wide, though, and that's going to hurt him. Here comes Jesse Marshall. Can he get the inside run? He can. Who's going to break earlier? That would be Nick Mello, and up the inside goes Jesse Marshall. P9, has he got the exit speed? He has, but Nick Mello's got a little bit of a run. In fact, a beautiful run, and Jesse's seen that coming and thought, bugger it, I stuffed it up. I thought it was ambitious, and it's costing me now as we go for a drag race down the front straightaway again into turn 1, braking nearly at the same time of the both of them. Up the inside they go. Racing room permitted for both, just at the perfect point there was that car of Nick Mello, and Jesse Marshall was trying to get the job done. Now Marshall's going to go up the inside, try to take the chockies off him once again. The camera angles from fucking Uranus. Yeah. But we're getting here, and we're back in it. Now we've got Nick Mello on the outside. He's got that P8 now. Now he's got to get up to the arse end of Ryan Nielsen and take that P7 before he comes in for his pit stop as well. What a great drive here from Nick Mello so far, but it hasn't been easy. It's not been easy, and it's been a challenge under the weather, and he's still making amends. This is a cracking drive from about 24th on the grid.
Yeah, he might have had the same bug that I've had for the last 3 days, which means he's probably had more time on the toilet than he has in the hot seat of the old sim rig. But Dion Clerk's taken his drive-through as well. But Nick Mello is probably thinking about a pit stop as well coming up soon, because it's been a long time since he's had one. His last lap was a 1:58.2. Very uncharacteristic there from Nick Mello. As we get word from the MBR team boss that Harley's gone back to a set of hards as well. So that's going to last him for at least another 28 minutes. So we might see one more pit stop there from the from the number 1 MBR driver. But on that, we should say that Jesse has got the track position on him, and I'll tell you what, he's giving Nick Mello a fair bit of curry as well back here. Nick Mello got the overtake done, but he hasn't seemed to have consolidated that overtake just yet. As you can see here, poor old Jesse just missing the apex there. That's the apex he needed to get to stay into that slipstream, or the suck, as we call it here in the SimSational TV land. But Nick Mello now finding himself up into 8th position, a little bit of clear air in front of him as well. That's what he will enjoy. But as we said, a pit stop coming up for him shortly. So our guess is as good as anyone's about where he might turn or come back out on the circuit. I'm tipping around maybe the gap in between 18 and 19, which is Grant and Goff. So not all as well. It's a bit of a tough night on the tools for poor old Nick Mello. But yes, Ron, Jesse has given it a good go tonight. He's driven well, Zach O'Reilly.
Yeah.
He's turned a leaf, perhaps.
Turned a leaf, and maybe turned over a whole tree. We'll find out what for the Marshall Brothers Racing, because at the moment it's looking pretty good here for one Jesse Marshall. So we'll see, as you say, in the end, Nick Mello's got a long way to go before he gets back into the game. But nonetheless, it's still cracking racing. They're both keeping it clean and very consistent. from most of the drivers here tonight at the Bend. It's a great hot lapping circuit, and once you get in a close battle, it takes about 2 or 3 laps to maybe navigate through someone if you're all doing the same thing, line astern and racing around. But that is the beauty of racing. Matt Cotter has really got onto the arse end now of Daniel Cicluna's Delta. He's only 23 seconds off him now, but he's only a second away from one Alex McEwen. So he's come back with a vengeance as Matt Cotter now on the charge. He is still covered by a pit stop at this stage over Daniel Cicluna. He will retain the lead if Cicluna was to pit at this moment, but they've got a minimum of 2 to go. So it's a little bit of a strategical masterclass could be coming one way or the other for Cicluna versus Cotter. Who's going to come out with the chockies? I don't know, but he is galloping away, and you can see with only a 10th in that first sector alone, just off his own personal best, it's still well and truly healthy on that set of hards here for Matt Cotter. So keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen. Are we going to see a safety car? I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to tell here at the Bend. There's a lot of runoff. There's a lot of places to keep your car off the circuit, but a track hazard is a track hazard, and you cannot teleport to pits here. So wonder if something comes to fruition. Some of the battling up and down the field may just be at that final nth degree, and 4 or 5 cars get taken out. We don't know. But at this stage, I'll tell you what, Cotter would be praying for one of them at this rate. 9/10 of a second is the gap now. Him and Alex McEwen really coming into a line of stern situation very, very shortly indeed. But nonetheless, that's okay. A little bit of lull in proceedings, but we know what that means. In about 4 or 5 milliseconds, it's going to heat up somewhere on the circuit, and we could see another attack from Matt Cotter. Can he get it cleanly and not slap the inside wall of someone's left-hand, right-hand door?
Yeah, well, we hope not. We expect more from the fast guys in this server. Keep in mind, these are probably the quickest drivers in Assetto Corsa in not only Australia, but they could probably challenge a lot of the European facets of sim racing, really. These guys have been doing it for a very long time, and the V8 Supercars in particular, these guys have got a very good hold of, as I think that's Simons or Dion Clerk, one of the 2 Supras, just getting out of the way there. And really just playing into the hands of Matt Cotter there as well. They kind of slowed up McEwen on the way through, and that's allowed Cotter to just get back onto the rear wing here of Mr. McEwen. I'm trying to think what Alex would do in this situation. Does he put up the fight, or does he let Cotter through on the kind of proviso that it doesn't cost him more time in the battling stakes, and maybe just for the few laps that he can keep up with him, just sort of drag him along the few straights and a little bit of suckage battle there. Tell you what, that sun is getting low in the sky, as you can see on your screens. What a beautiful shot. This game does look brilliant, even after 10 years. Matt Munro with the super chat. How about that? He's loving life. He got home a bit late in the afternoon, so he could not join the server. He's been up here at my place, so he got home just a little bit too late in the day to come out and play for the 2-hour Enduro. But thank you for the money, little bro.
Well, excellent stuff there. We'll see him back next round, though, however. And a bit of guitar work from Chris Munro was keeping Matt away from the sim riggers. Just absolutely genius, I've been told. Just playing and shredding and doing whatever you want, riffs, you name it. He has got him in the Munro, not just a commentator and a quick racer, that's for sure. But speaking of, it's on here now. Cotter's really got the jaws out. He's going to send it straight up the inside. Look how quickly he does that. Can he pull it up, though? No, he can't. That's going to be Alex straight up the inside. Again, we go. So, too ambitious there from Matt Cotter. That's going to cost him, again, another second that he does not need to waste. Just as Munro said, just give the old single file treatment and only go for a move when it's 100% on, rather than trying to default your way back out of a battle that is coming your way. It hurts you every 10th by 10th that it does. So just keep your eyes forward, mate, and we will be on you like a chocolate to the piece of the sun setting right there as we speak. But nonetheless, it's good. Jesse Marshall right on the back here of Nick Mallow again for that too as well in 8th and 9th. Keep an eye out for that battle on screen. This one here is effectively for P2 overall, and it's only 21 seconds now, so it's only a pit stop. And look at the car behaviour between the two of these. The 2 quickest drivers, arguably, in AK Racing consistently for the last couple of years are on show here. This is what you get on a Sunday night. Absolute dead set class from these two drivers. And look at Matt Cotter showing the nose. He's sent it up the inside here. Alex saw that coming, lets him go. There's no switchback opportunity here because Cotter's just going to send it and stick mid-track. And Alex McEwen's got no answer. That is P2 now for Matt Cotter. Only held him up by half a second just on that lap alone for a little battle. Not too costly. Now he's got all the clean air in front of him, Chris. This is probably missing signs here for Matthew.
Yeah, he's managed to make short work of that overtake. Didn't cost him too much in the grand scheme of things in the pace department either. So Daniel Cicluna, though, still in the hot seat. He's got 20 seconds up his sleeve, so he's got all the options available to him now, and one of which is a bit of a left field attempt as well, which, it's got to be thought about if you're up there in the top three, a fuel-saving strategy to maybe get back on the same rotation as Matt Cotter. Here's one from left field. If he fuel saves and lets that gap get back down to 10 seconds, which is still a mighty gap in the grand scheme of things, he could stretch that second stint out another 3 or 4 laps, which brings that last stint in 3 or 4 laps. And maybe it's just even playing field again. Both of these guys, Cotter and Cicluna, on the same lap when they will pit on the same amount of tyre wear, and advantage Cicluna by about 10 seconds. So there's one for the strategist there over at Daniel Cicluna Racing. There's a lot of things to take into account when you're out there in the sim racing world. Not everyone has the luxury of a Ron Marshall pit engineer in their ears the whole race. So a lot of these guys have to do it solo. So they're doing not only the racing, they're also doing the sums about when they need to pit and how much fuel they got to put in, how long they're going to go on a stint, what sort of tyre they're going to do. It's a lot to take on board, Zach O'Reilly, but tell you what, we've got another little battle heating up here between Mello, and he is sandwiched by the Marshall boys.
Yeah, speak of the Devils, they're back in it and they're on screen now. Cracking stuff here. Jesse's in front and Harley's at the back of this one. I think Mello's tyres are looking very second-hand indeed, and that is a move. Squirrely under brakes there for Nick Mello. Harley's gone straight up the inside, and 2 Oracles are now in front of him. Boy, oh boy, what is this a sign to come for tonight's F1 race? 2 Red Bull liveries out in front. If this was P1, 2 and 3, you'd probably have a good crack at it. But look at him go. Ron Marshall absolutely will probably be getting the biggest soft on in his whole life. Can't get it the other way, but he's got up the inside as Harley on Jesse too. Bit of biffo and basho there between the two of them. Oh, gee, that's interesting. That is cool stuff. And Nick Mello's even run wide as well. So just team orders not really been an effective for Marshall Brothers Racing. It's whoever is the quicker one out of the two. Some of them are battling for the wheel tonight. I've heard who's going to get the 80% stake. Whoever ends out in front could be interesting, but we'll see what these boys are going to be answering to when it comes to their pit stops. Jesse has won 1. Harley has done 2 stops. So Nick Mello also on a second stop too. And oh boy, I've just watched in the foreground there. My man, Dean Hanley, off into the bunda and lost it. But so is Ezra Simmons. But anyway, he's back out. He's okay. He's all right. He's fine. Let's cut back on the screen, so that's okay. No worries, Dino. Nick Mello, however, in the 10th place, looking really racy. So are the 2 Marshall brothers in front of him. And they're the closest guys on track to each other. Oh, actually, apart from Scotty Cordham and Brandon Pierce. Oh, this is spicy. We've got an owner and the admin, one of the admins of AK Racing, on show right now. And geez Louise, in the fair dinkum department, this is a battle for maybe a little bit of share prices. They've hit the share stocks and the market at the moment as AK Racing. Go and find them out. AKR is the 3-letter combo. And we're selling our shares for 1 cent each at there. And Dion Clerk right now is also on for a bit of a bull market if Clint Goff can get past him. But what can Mr. Cordham do over the one Brandon Pierce? Suckage down the straight. Is he going to send it? No. Pearso's gone real deep under brakes, but he gets it pulled up nicely. Just misses the apex, goes a little bit wide onto the painted section there. That'll hurt him a little bit. Cordham will be all over it and see if he can, as Munro said, be one to court. Pearso napping.
Yeah, he's going to try his best to do that. But Pearso, he's got the toothpicks under the eyelids there. There's no napping for him. He doesn't even blink when he's behind the wheel here of the sim rig. Just don't want to sneeze because you'll end up giving yourself a little piercing in the old eyelids department. But tell you what, Scott Cordham does have his hands full here. Pearso has found a lot of form as of late. Despite the positioning in this particular race, he did get a P1 the last time around in the feature race, that Hidden Valley, I believe. One of my favourite circuits on the Australian calendar as well. Beautiful, nice, tight little circuit. Disaster for Jason McFadden, as you can see on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. He gets a drive through for cutting. It's that's an amalgamation of how many cuts you get. You get 5 chances, and on your 6th time off the track, you do get a little scenic trip through the pit lane in the form of a drive-through. So Jason McFadden is the first one. We've seen to cop one for cutting. We've seen a couple for speeding into the pits as well. That's another way to get a drive-through here at AK Racing. So you've got to be on your best behaviour, ladies and gentlemen, out here in the sim world. Here's a little battle forming here, down for 13th position. Elliott getting a cracking exit there out of the final turn. Can Nathan Hughes and his low downforce settings there in the Mustang. He always goes for a low wing from what I can remember. He's always up there in the top speed stakes. It's not enough this time because Elliott just slides up the inside there at T1. He's going to try and battle it though, looking around the outside there at T2 and 3. I don't know if this is going to be the wisest line because that radius is just far too wide. And there goes Elliott up into 12th position. Thank you very much. He's in the Camaro. He's on the hard tyre. Everyone now on the hard tyre now except for Cook and McFadden down there in 16th and 17th position. Let's look up to the top of the field here. Daniel Cicluna came into pits maybe 20 laps ago, if I'm not mistaken. So he's probably trying to push this set of tyres as far as they can go. His last lap was a 155. Still pretty good in the grand scheme of things. We saw Cotter at the end of his stint doing 156 and 157s as well, Zach O'Reilly, which really turned this race on its head. So all Cicluna has to do now is try and hang on as much as he can and make those tyres last as long as possible, even do a little bit of fuel saving.
Yeah, a little bit of fuel saving is all he needs to do, and 18 seconds has decreased from 22, mind you. But that was every 5 laps, so it's still not going to be enough in the grand scheme of the pace department. That is barring a disaster here for Cicluna. He's probably got it all to win here. Can he keep it on the circuit, though? Part-time racer. Sometimes when you're in endurance, it gets to you. The brain starts to think about other things, like what am I having for dinner after this one? And right at that point, when you're supposed to downshift from 5th down to 2nd, you lose it, and you forgot what happened. So, could happen, but I hope it doesn't for Daniel Cicluna. He's driven the wheels off that car so far tonight, and the strategy has been on point. That is why he's got 18.5 seconds. That was only 0.4 of a second his deficit the last time the pit stops came around. Look at this man. These two are still fighting it out here over the CEO role of AK Racing. Looking at the Pearso and Mr. Court having a good drive with both of them at this stage, keeping it clean, but it's just a rate of attrition. They're both probably circulating at nearly the same pace each time they go around, and it gets impossible as the sun sets over the skyline of Adelaide here. McFadden's taken his drive through again, so that is fine. He's out there, and he just can't stay away from that P17 and 19 tonight, as can Jace. Unfortunately for him, not the race to be. But speaking of racing, Nick Mallow, Jesse Marshall is on again. 0.5 of a second. This is bloody incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. He's having the race of the season so far as Jesse Marshall. We've seen him have some hard luck and some bad results really for what he's capable of. And I guess tonight he's turned his brain on, and he's doing fantastic up there in 9th position. He's got Nick Mello behind him, and he's kept him at bay for however many laps as well. So that's a feather to pop in your cap, young son. The longer he can keep Mello behind, the better he can go as well, because Harley Marshall's up there in 8th position. And if he can just hold Mello off a little bit longer, Mello just double guessing himself there, thinking about going for the move into turn 18. Thought better of it. And there you go. Jesse just coming into the pits now anyway, so probably a wise idea. There he goes. Hughesy's had a gutter. He's not moving.
Safety car, boards and flags, ladies and gentlemen.
We have a safety
car, boards and flags.
There you go. My OSRW is not responding to the key commands out there. Oh, there we go. It's just a little bit too late. But there you go. Safety car is out on track, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Cicluna will probably, he's turning the final turn now. We expect to see him just come straight into the pit lane. Yep, thank you very much. I assume Matt Cotter will do the same. Maybe McEwen, who was the last person to pit? I expect all these top three to go into the pits, to be honest. Maybe Dean Hanley might chance his arm and stay out, but he's still got half a sector to go. Cotter comes in. McEwen comes in as well. We'll just hold on Hanley here and see what he does. He's made his way up to 4th position. 44 minutes in the race. What do you do? This has thrown a cat amongst the proverbial pigeons here. Dean Hanley might just follow suit and go into the pits. Yep. Wise idea. Get on the fresh rubber. I think maybe most of the top 10 might just do the same thing. Scotty Garrick. Oh, I'm sure he was half in two minds about whether to come in or not up until the very last minute. Junior Ferguson, he's a man that wants to lead this race. I'm sure he will go through. But I tell you what, Cicluna's come out of the pits already. Anyway, so he will take up the safety car when he picks it up. Matt Cotter slots back into 2nd position. Alex McEwen back into 3rd. Junior Ferguson comes into the pits as well. Who's the next one around? It seems it's just a procession into the pits. So we're going to get a shootout here. 40 minutes on fresh rubber, and all strategical decisions are reset, and everyone's on the same thing.
Geez, you would have hated to be on your set of... sorry, if I can speak. You would have hated to be on 2 of the same compounds, and your 3rd pit stop was going to be onto the faster one, which is your 2nd stop of the night, because then you would have to come in again. So luckily at this stage, it looks like everyone's going out on the hards. Wise choices. They've all taken the softs early, which has paid dividends here. Marshall is going around. That is Darren Clerk, I believe, into the pits behind him. So safety car's going to go around for a bit. And this is just the minutes ticking down, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be around 38, 39 minutes, I reckon, by the time we go racing again, which is just playing into the hands of everyone who takes that fresh rubber now. And if you just pitted the lap before, God, that would have been great timing, I'll tell you what, because you would have just gone straight through like this man here. That is perfect timing for one, Jesse Marshall, but he's got a long way to go on those softs. 42 minutes. They only last about 8 laps. No. And then I think at the moment, poor old Jesse Marshall, we G'd him up. And he's just been done by the safety car 1 lap prior to. Goodness gracious me. But that's okay. That is racing. He'll come back through. You know, if it was me, it'd probably be, at this rate, it'd probably be better to just come in and put a set of hards on again, because everyone's going now. It's a cheap pit stop. You might end up a little bit further down, but on raw pace, if you've been up there at that position in that 8th or 9th place, with 38 minutes left to go, you might just be able to snag it again. So cheaper pit stop rather than waiting for full race pace will not lose you as many pit positions. But that's just my thought. It's a bit of just saving whatever you possibly can now for Jesse Marshall, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you see the flashing yellow lights pop up on your screen, and then all of your brain function just going absolutely haywire, thinking, what do I do here? What do I do? I've got about half a lap to make this decision. Do I come in? What tyres do I put on? Do I fill up the fuel completely? Do I just do a short splash and dash and try and catch a few of these guys napping in the pit lane? There's a lot to take on board, and you never really know if the decision you've made is the right one until the dying laps of the race. So as we see all these guys just trying to catch up to the safety car, Daniel Cicluna is in the hot seat. Let's get a look at our safety car as well. By the way, it's the old the Ford Ranger, the AK Racing safety car. Look at that thing. It's got lights, it's got flashing lights, it's got the SimSational badge on the side.
Look at the back of it.
Someone stacked it. Please wait. Absolutely safe as. It is the safest car you could probably get. Ford Raptor, I don't know about that, but it might break down on the way around. Hopefully there's a secondary car out there that can take up the slack if this thing blows a valve on the way around. But as it stands, Daniel Cicluna in first position. He has just, well, all these guys have just made a pit stop, so they're all on the hards. Everyone's on the hards. Jesse Marshall, only one going around, still on the soft, so expect him to make a little bit of ground up off the start. He might even find himself in the top 5 if he navigates around this nicely. We've got all the lapped car drivers making their way past as well, under the keen eye of the race direction team. Shout out to Turkey Simmons, and I think Braden Moore is in there as well tonight, helping out because poor old Stephen Marsden's under the weather as well. It's flu time here in Australia, so expect your loved ones to go down with a bit of that snotty nose in the next couple of weeks.
Well, look, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but it's a bit coincidental that 80% of the population are getting the flu in the same week. But you know what? That's okay. Because it doesn't matter when you're racing around here on the track, and you can see these guys now doing anything but that. Just single file. This is feeling like a snail pace. They've been racing around at an average of about 170 kilometres an hour for an hour and 20 minutes, and then you get stuck at 80 kilometres an hour behind the safety car. It is never fun. It feels like an absolute oblivion as we see the safety car do its job. Lights are flashing. The thing has got a Mustang GT3 engine underneath the hood of that thing, and you can see the front camber on that thing as well. It's got more front camber than a drift car. Have a look at the thing, squatted and absolutely negatively cambered in to about 10 degrees.
Wow,
ready to rock and roll. But that thing is no slouch when it wants to get going either. But beautiful stuff from the OK Racing boys as they all stream past here. Look at the colours, you can just see them. You've got orange and blue and grey, you've got blue and red, you've got yellow and black up the Richmond Fantasy out there, purple as well. There, a bit of white, you got red and black there too. And you got Fargoff going through, Fargoffing at the back. The safety car can't stay on the circuit. Just doing what Raptor drivers do all the time. No indicators, no worries. But it looks like it's in, ladies and gentlemen. So, it means we're about to go racing here. It is all to battle for. 37 minutes left on the clock. And what has this man in front got here? Christopher Munro, for the answers behind him is Mallow, McEwen, Hanley, McEwen, and Cotter. Jesus gone, and he's off and racing. We are gone. Go, go, go. Green flag, and Cicluna is now sailing off. He's already gapped him by 5 or 6 tenths. Kept Matt Cotter napping there. And can he keep it into T1 nicely here? The cars are going to be on cold tyres here. Not the ideal. They're fresh as a daisy, and they've been going around at 80 Ks. I'll tell you what, they all stream through. Here, look at the move up the inside of Nick Mallow. Got the job done there too, beautifully on the Marshall brothers of Harley. That is fantastic stuff. Can hear people complaining in the background already for incidents. Oh, look at this, 4-5 cars now. We are off and racing once again, and we can see them all tussling for position. Same tyres, same strategy now. It is a sprint to the end here. What has Jesse Marshall got from McFadden in the way of answers? Nothing. But look at the back of Brandon Pierce coming out of nowhere. Is he going to split the middle here up to the inside like a sausage? Oh, he's going to lose it. Oh, he just pulled it up at the last second there. Cracking car control from himself there. But look at this. It is on. But Cotter is in front of Cicluna now. Retains that lead. Holy mackerel indeed. I'll tell you what. It's on. And McEwen's at the back now wanting a piece of that pie too. So it's double pressure time here for Cicluna versus McEwen versus Cotter. And with 36 minutes in this one, if those tyres at the moment are in any better shape, it is probably going to be advantage for Matt Cotter. Jeez Louise, this is incredible racing. I'll tell you what, they are going hammer and tong at this stage. Cracking driving, and you can see the sun setting. The sky is getting darker, and we are into the final half an hour or thereabouts for this race. This is cracking stuff up and down the field. No one has really lost a position, but it is the biggest advantage now to Matt Cotter. He's got it all to win from here.
He certainly does. The gaps are at about 4 tenths apiece there at the front, and Matt Cotter will just be rubbing his hands together. The fortune that he's had tonight is absolutely insane. He's gone from about 20 seconds behind to the lead of this race with the fortuitous safety car here, and here goes Nielsen just forcing McFadden right out to the side of the track there. Jesse Marshall's taking advantage of that as well. Says thank you very much. He goes back into 10th position. That's where he was at the start of this safety car period. But he's got the softs on, so he does have the advantage of that superior braking advantage, and he will do that now into turn 1. You'll see him just... but look at Nielsen's just getting in the way there. He's going to try and follow him up the inside. It looks like Scotty Garrick's DNF'd as well. Alan Nielsen's DNF'd. Hughes is DNF'd. Benny Aspin has DNF'd earlier in this race, but what is going on there? Maybe that was the reason for this safety car. We've had some DNFs here. The war of attrition has begun. Junior Ferguson and Dean Hanley, Nick Mello, Harley Marshall chiming in. They're going to go 3 wide here. Nick Mello up the inside. Contact. Oh, he's rolled it. Oh, no. Marshall has absolutely rolled it, but he's going to get back on the track somehow. His car's absolutely stuffed. What a move. I think Mello's going to be in a bit of trouble there. That was maybe... yeah, there has to be another one here. Another safety car. So Cicluna will get another chance to return serve at Matt Cotter there off the restart. As they say in the olden days, one safety car brings 2. Will 2 bring 3? Stay tuned here to SimSational TV to find out. We're going to implement a new thing that we've got here in the SimSational commentary box. I'm going to insert an ad right now. So if you don't have your ad blockers turned on, you will be off for a 30-second commercial. But when you come back, it will be safety car as usual. For those of you that have your ad blockers on, you get the exclusive taste here for 30 seconds of a privileged viewing here on the SimSational TV channel. We've got Matt Cotter leading this race. How good is that? The proximity effect taking effect there on the old Shure SM7B. Get that bass in your ears, ladies and gentlemen, at home. Matt Cotter leads this race. Daniel Cicluna in second position. They are going to pick up the safety car. I don't think you'll see many people diving into the pits this time, as they're all on the they're all bunched up for one. And they're all on a new set, a fresh set is what I was trying to say, a fresh set of tyres. They're racing hard though. Is that safety car call got down to the drivers?
Not too sure what's happening here now. It's still yellow flags,
yeah,
as we see. But number 21, I can't see who that is. I think that could
Nielsen.
be the... No, the safety car is not out there at the moment.
Oh, it is?
Oh, yes, it is. It is there. It is. It is going around. So they are allowed to go around single file at race pace until they catch up to the safety car.
Yeah.
So that's what they've been doing. I thought it was number 21 on the timing list on the track map, and it is. And absolutely, there we go. Now we see them all single file up. And again and again and again, we're going to get about 25 minutes of racing cleanly here by the time this one goes out, I reckon. And again, what can Cicluna do? He's seen what Cotter did to him. Can he return the serve backwards and go for it once more? It's going to be anyone's guess. Can the safety car just stay on the track as well? That's another thing to presume. It is Braden Moore driving it, and the guy who's sitting 4th in the championship in Tier 2, he can drive. Yeah. So not too sure, but that's okay. Everything's happy and sunny here. And speaking of that, it is well and truly starting to set here, Christopher Munro.
Yeah, we might be in total darkness by the end of this race, which is going to be an interesting finish. Hopefully the guys have their headlight buttons mapped on their wheels. I know there's no track lighting around the circuit, so this commentary game might just get a little bit tough. But tell you what, ladies and gentlemen at home, you got the best in the bizzo here in the box. We can call it in the dark. We can call it without even looking at the screen. So don't you worry, you'll get all the action fed directly into your ear holes. If you can't see the action out on track, it'll just be headlights ablaze, but you'll still get all the information coming into you. Tell you what, half an hour to go. I think we might even end up in darkness territory. The race started at 3:30 p.m, so it should have been 5:30 p.m. in game when the race finishes. I don't know. I'm not from Adelaide, but I swear they've still got a little bit of sunlight at around 5:30 p.m. Surely. But who knows? It's a strange and wonderful place down there in South Australia. Feel sorry for those living there. But there it is. We'll find out in half an hour's time how much daylight they get in the end of the day. But there's a car in the pits. Who's that? Jason McFadden. Just sitting there waiting for the field to go through. That might be the end of his night. Come to think of it, half an hour to go. So the safety car will go around one more time before they unlap a few of the drivers. Harley Marshall is one of those, so he's just going around, catching up to the back of the pack. Number 19 as well, that's Scott Garrick. he will pull into the pits. Why not? You're at the back, pop on the set of softs and see if you can take 5 points for the fastest lap. Who knows?
Well, we'll find out. And that's the beauty of sim racing. You never know. But we always say that. And it's one of those things here with the sun setting, safety car lights out, it forever just starts ticking. And the mental battles inside your head right now, I know you just got to think, I've got the pace over him. That is the only mental game you need to have in your head. Just go and do about your business. Set the quickest lap, get out on that out lap and catch the guys behind you napping. And that's what Cicluna did very well. But I think Cicluna will see what he did. And once that safety car starts taking off into the distance, I would be right on the rear bumper. Would not even care if there was a little bit of a light shade of a yellow hue coming up on your damage panel. It's okay, because you need every single momentum advantage you have. You need to be right on him. I don't know why guys don't do it in real life. They always sit a car length behind when the safety car is due to go in. I'll never understand it. But that's what you need to do. And you need to be right there, because when Matt Cotto gets on a roll, he is well and truly on a roll. But Scuzz has kept him honest all night. And it could be another photo finish of some way, shape or form for it. It's awesome. This racing has been good. And big thanks to Kirsty Hanley as well for the super chat. Wacko. Great commentary, boys. Loving it. Thank you very much. It has been great racing. Hopefully Dino can pull it to the end in a P4.
Yeah.
He's got a very angry man behind him of Nick Mallow, and that could be interesting as well, Dino. I'm rooting for you, and it's just got to be got to get those racing brain on you that I've been teaching you for the last 5.5 weeks.
Yeah, it's hopefully it comes to fruition. I mean, it's evident there at the moment, sitting there pretty and in 4th position at the moment, and he's got two blokes at the front there who are willing to trade a little bit of paint on the way through. So anything could happen here. Anyone in the top 10 could find themselves in the lead of this race. With the thanks of a little bit of tangling in between the top 3. But there goes the safety car, ladies and gents. We are just about ready for a start. That's a sound that I love and recognise whenever I hear that in the background. Wow, Zach O'Reilly just, mic check with the old crack of the can. Liam Hano with the $3 donation. Thank you, sir. And Matt Cotter goes early. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are racing again. He's got about a 3-car advantage to Daniel Cicluna. But look at that. Dean Hanley just pulling out to the middle of the track, even on the inside. Nick Mello's just battling him around the outside here. This could be a tight little section here as 2 become 1. Almost trading paint. A little bit of bumping and shoving. And back again with Nick Mello bouncing off the inside of that curbing. But Dean Hanley just handling himself nicely. That's a beautiful stuff there, keeping Nick Mello at bay. Ryan Nielsen chiming in as well, wants to be a part of this action. You can see how close he is to that Camaro of Nick Mello in front. Can he just pull out of the slipstream? Just fakes the dummy. Nick Mello falls for it, goes to half defensive, and that just takes the pressure valve off Dean Hanley in front now, and he's got about a 2-car advantage to him at this point in time. But Jesse Marshall now is on the back of Ryan Nielsen. This is a great result for Jesse Marshall and MBR Racing all around the park here. He's up to 7th position. This is main grid, ladies and gentlemen. Gets 2 wheels off the ground. Exciting stuff here in the restart. We got 26 minutes to go, should I say. Wowee, there's battles all up and down the field. This is fantastic stuff. Where's Cordham? He's got the chef, Mr. Cook, on the back of him as well down there. Dion Clerk's made his way up. Whoa, chef very deep under brakes. Almost centre punching the back of Cordham's AK Racing Signia Camaro there. Here goes Cook, but Cordham was onto him. He shuffled across and just sort of cut that advantage off by the nose. Daniel Cicluna just cutting that lead down to about 5/10. Here's a close little battle here. Jesse Marshall and Ryan Nielsen going around the final turn. No, the second final turn, should I say. And a little mistake there from Nielsen. Oh, no. He's gone across the track, and he's taken Jesse Marshall with him. That's horrible to see. He's going to have to try and get out on the track nicely, and he does safely, but loses about 6 or 7 positions out of it. Oh, that's disaster. As we were talking Marshall up, he's done such a great job. But here goes Mello and Hanley again. Zach O'Reilly into turn 1.
Fuck. Bloody hell, I said, I've been yelling at the TV screen, get left, Dino, for Christ's sake, and he's not. And now Nick Mello's got the chockies on him, and that is it. The brakes are well and truly glowing. 5th place now for Dean Hanley. 4th for Nick Mello from dead set last on the grid. Got to take your hats off to him. That is cracking driving. And it's been equalised even for him. And now we've got another safety car. Oh, jeez Louise, ladies and gentlemen. How in the hell are we going to finish this one? The sun is dead set setting. We've got about an inch of sunlight left on the proverbial horizon. And these boys at the moment will be having to think about what the headlights are going to do. Are they in their rhythm? Are they ready to rock and roll? Because every time you stop racing, you get out of that rhythm. If you just kept racing here and the sun does set, you can pretty much muscle memory your way through it. But at this rate, it's just stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. I don't know what the hell's going to happen here. Another safety car for God knows what. But they breed them. I'll tell you what, if there's anything you need a license for, it's to breed safety cars, and these boys are doing their best to give them out and dish them left, right and centre here for the final 23 minutes again. Under safety car, probably another good time to put an ad in there, Christopher Munro, I reckon.
Yep.
But we just don't know what to call here. There it is. It's out there waiting. And ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. It's going to be a little bit of something. YouTube pay us about 4 cents per ad. But in fact, it's liking and subscribing, super chats, clicking that notification button is the best way for us to keep going and presenting you with all this excellent broadcasting, so to speak. And speaking of that, the safety car is definitely taking effect with its headlights. You can see them getting stronger and stronger on the bitumen. And I tell you what, I'm getting a bit antsy here. This is going to be an absolute piss funny end to this race, ladies and gents. The Assetto Corsa Sun has given us the biggest Tijuana and said, I'll set whenever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And we are going to be under lights here. And that is only headlights, nothing around the Bend circuit. For the end of this one, I have a feeling if it's not pitch black, I'll go eat my shoe again.
Yeah, this will be interesting. There, we thought, wow, setting the server. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to be finishing into the sunset at 5:30 p.m., which is when the normal sun goes down, I'm sure. But as we said, Assetto Corsa sun sets whenever the effort likes. And so we're going to be finishing this race in absolute darkness. I can just see it now. I think the sun's already gone down. We've got about probably 5 minutes worth of light left. And that's just going to make things even more difficult for these boys out there tonight. Matt Cotter still leading the race. He's got Secluda there behind him. What a shot there. Let's pause the camera. Look at the V8 Supercars over the setting sun here of Adelaide Motorsport Park, or the Bend as they call it, Tailem Bend. Liam Hanzo in the chat says, and I thought our Super 2 blokes were getting it rough with the early morning. Well, it's the opposite end of the spectrum. It's been a big day of racing here at the Bend. We've had the Super 2, and now we have the main grid, and it's getting darker and darker by the second. I guess that is it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We all have to deal with it. Whoever has the advantage of just not using lighting effects and weather effects in their personal rigs, which I never used, by the way, because it was just more distractions from the racing line and your braking markers. But some people go for immersion over just out and out pace. So a lot of these guys are going to be racing in the dark as well, and I say good luck to them.
Well, I would say the same thing, Christopher Munro. Good luck to them. And at this time, it's just all about luck, I reckon. Because when it comes to racing in the blindness of the dark, I would go eat my shoe and probably hope that I won't go off the circuit. But at this rate, it's kind of looking like we might just get away with it. I think we might. The last little bit of sunlight will start to just go and they might cross the finish line. But who's it going to be? The safety car's in. The safety car is in, and Matt Cotter's gone, or is he going? Yes, he's gone now. That's for sure. I think he's gone. No, he hasn't. Oh,
no,
that's right.
Cicluna wants to be closer, though.
He's going to be taking my advice, Scars. Listening to me on the broadcast. Get right up his clucker. Go now. Yep, go. Yes, just at the wrong point or not. But that is a cracking start from Matt Cotter. I'll tell you what, he's got the chockies over him, but look at Dean Hanley. He's right on the arse end of Nick Mello now too. So is he going to have enough room to send it up the inside? I don't think he is. He's just a little bit too far away. But he's got in front of him Alex McEwen holding him up too. Oh, Dino, no, the brakes. Just giving him a touch, but he's kept it all together. So is Nick Mello. but that's going to let them two. But now he can go for the switchback as well, Indino. No, he won't. He'll just sit it there nicely. That was nearly disaster. Oh, nearly again, just punting into the back of him. He's got to be careful because here is one Mr. Scotty caught him in his arse end. Scotty Garrick now having a good crack there, coming back through the field up there, having a technical difficulty in 12th. He's on it, but Scotty caught him. Has now got a 5th place in his hands as well. He's got Dean Handley in front of him. Nick Mallard's a quick customer. Pearso's there as well too. Thought we wrote those two off midway through the race, and here they are once again up there. Cracking racing. The opening lap is all on. You can see the headlights are blazing. Look at those flashes of the exhaust coming through. Fantastic scenes here at the bend. They all get through pretty much cleanly here for that lap. We've got DeLuca and Clerk having a good old tussle. Here, look at Ferguson getting involved in that at the back of them. Marshall and McFadden also having a good tussle too. This is on like Donkey Kong. The chef is undercooked and he's getting a little bit hairy underneath that collar. He's trying to force the issue here on the Marshall and DeLuca in front of him. Is he going to get a 2-for-1 deal? He is. DeLuca's gone backwards at 2-for-1 in one corner, unfortunately, but now the chef's got a good run. Cicluna is only 3/10 away here from Matt Cotter. Cotter on the slide. Cicluna angling in that car at the last minute. You can see what the two driving styles are doing. Wagging the tail coming from Matt Cotter's car very, very shortly. There it is, just a little one. Now it is even Stevens. Can they come together? Can Cicluna get that gap within a 10th or 2 before the front straightaway and maybe get a suck move on, because we've only got 18 minutes left in this one. It's heating up and down the field. Nielsen and Garrick trading positions as well. Hanley and Mallow in there too. Then he's only got a little half a second gap of Stern. He's half a second from Mallow all the way down to Clint Goff in 10th.
Yeah, we've seen Nielsen and Garrick get caught up in a little bit of an incident there in the back end of this first lap of the restart. So those guys go just straight to the back of the field. That's the bad thing about a restart. You make one mistake and the whole field will take advantage of that. Lockie Grant now, as we see down here in 9th position, just getting done by Andre Elliott down there into turn 1. The lead of this race is still at about half a second, and I'm going to keep one eye on that battle as well, because this is heating up. We're into super sprint territory now, ladies and gents. Clint Goff and Jesse Marshall having a little bit of a tussle there. Jesse Marshall having the better of it for the time being. But up and down the field, it's just battle central. Here we go. Pick one and let's have a look. Who are we going to look at? Brandon Pierce, the magician. He's got Scotty Cordham, who's finally got around Brandon Pierce in the last couple of laps. And the endless safety car restarts we've had to endure here. Hopefully it's clean and green for the rest of it. Brandon Pierce just coming across a cropper there. But look at Andre Elliott. Thank you very much. Goes up the inside there of a place where we thought was almost impossible to force an overtake, and he's done it. Brandon Pierce, though, he's going to try and argue the point. Look at this. Let's get a top view and see if there's any overlap. There is almost one, but I'll tell you what, that's not going to stop Pierce over maybe having a little dip here. He doesn't. Andre Elliott going very wide off into the bunda, but manages to hold momentum. Brandon Pierce, Lockie Grant is there as well, just waiting to pounce. These three are headed nose to tail. Lindsay Muddle in the chat says, oh, bloody hell, I come back after 20 minutes and it's all together. Yeah, that's what safety cars do, ladies and gentlemen. Lindsay Muddle, you've missed out on about 3 of them in a row. So it's dead set all happening here. Matt Cotter, though, has been the biggest benefactor of all these safety car periods. He's out to about a 1.3 second lead, and in turn, Daniel Cicluna's got a 1.7 second gap to Alex McEwen behind. But here's a little four-way battle here between, who is it? We got Elliott, Pierce, and who's behind there? Clerk, as well as Jesse Marshall heading him up. So we're going to ride on board with him. Here goes Clerk up the inside of Grant. Oh, they're side by side here. Grant's just bouncing off the curb. A little bit of contact there. I think Grant might have just come off second best. Oh no, Marshall's just turned Clerk around. That's not what you want to see. And they're both just waiting for each other in a nice gentlemanly fashion to Zach O'Reilly.
Oh, that was a bit of disaster. Dean Handley got past Nick Mallow, who had a mare on the final corner, got into him and then just bumped him into turn 3, just gave that position back as he should. But it is race on here. Mallow's really got a little bit to think about here in the grand scheme of things. Dino has not got his headlights on at this stage. Doesn't need them because you can just see the red light reference of Nick Mallow in front of him. But those two are not letting go of each other. But at the moment, you can see that lead. 1.3 seconds between Cotto and Cicluna. It's all petted out to nothing. But this one here is still hot under the collar. 0.3 of a second is the gap. They're all thereabouts. It's great driving from the both of these guys. That sun is absolutely magnificently gone. Yep. Just giving us a little bit of something to think about. The daylight is slipping away. We've got 15 minutes of this race left to go. what are we going to see from all these boys? They've all sort of stretched out now, but this one here is on for sheep stations. You can tell that it is advantage at the moment to Dean Hanley over Mallow, something we don't say often, but it's happening here at the bend. It's great to see them both having a good old-fashioned tussle with each other. Nick Mellow's on the grass, four wheels on the grass too. That's going to hurt him into the braking zone. This could be an overshoot moment. It is. And there goes Dean Hanley up the inside. Keeps it clean, keeps it on the track. Unfortunately for Nick Mallow, it's now 5th place for him, but Dino, great underneath move that he got done and saw Nick Mallow take that issue onto the grass, and now he can skip away with a little bit of breathing room, go defensive real early if he has to, but that is P4 again for Dean Hanley. Jack Ferguson now is trying to get P9 here off Lachlan Grant. The overlap, the drag is really in advantage here for Ferguson as we go down the front straight underneath the Adelaide overpass, and there is P9 for Ferguson, unless Lachlan Grant forces the issue anymore. He doesn't, but he goes for the switchback. There's Grant there too, because
nice.
Fergo went deep. But no, he doesn't get the job done. Fergo's gone defensive on the inside, holds it mid-track. Can he keep it together at the apex? He does. And he gallops away now, gets that soft tyre compound ready and hot, ready to rock and roll. How long's that going to last? I do not know, but he's making advantage of it at the moment is Jack Ferguson. Really, really good stuff here from him, but this battle is not going anywhere. You can see them both right side by side, equal on pace in some corners. Then it's just a jostle of who's got the better one halfway through this bend circuit. It's advantage to either of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Fabian Fitness in the chat asking, has Hanley got headlights? I reckon his wheelhouse is just about full of trying to keep Mello behind him to even worry about finding the button that turns the headlights on for now. He'll just use the whatever car's behind him, and hopefully the high beams will just shoot past his car and give him somewhere to find that braking marker in the apex, because he's only got 13 minutes to go. That equates to about, 5 or 6 laps, maybe 7 at a stretch. I'll tell you what, Ben Logan says he eats heaps of carrots. He doesn't need the headlights. He's got the carrots in there. He can see in the dark. That's a brilliant comment. Thank you very much there. The super coach in the chat. Let's ride on board with Mello, because he is all over the back of Hanley now. Hanley going half defensive, maybe a bit deep there on the exit. That's invited Mello up the inside, but that's all right. He can squeeze in there and keep him shallow for the exit of the final turn. Hanley just wants to maybe do a little switchback here, get the late apex, but no, a little bit too overzealous on the loud pedal there, and spits out the back end, and that will just consolidate that for Nick Mello up to 4th position. Oh, it's still 12 minutes to go, so both of these guys very evenly paced at the moment. But down here, look at this. Pearso and Junior Ferguson side by side. Fergo just going a little bit deep, inviting Pearso up the sort of up and under route. But as we've seen through these first 3 snaking corners, there's a myriad of lines that you can take, and both of those guys taking a different one. As you can see, the headlights ablaze on all these cars here at the moment. Matt Cotter has skipped away at the moment, 2.6 seconds out in the lead, and in turn 2 seconds back to Alex McEwen, 4.5 seconds down to Mello. But here we go, the battle's back on. Dean Hanley, we can't look away here. We got the Misso in the chat watching along. Come on, Hanley, do it for the girls. Here goes Mello. Look at that, very wide. This will invite Hanley. I'm about to lose my voice here. Let's take it over, Zach O'Reilly.
He's all over the back of him here like a bad rash at the moment with a fly. It's incredible racing. They're both going side by side at some corners, and then you've got a bit of overlap. Something to see here between the two of the driving styles. Look at the apex speed of both of them. Just a bit more confidence at the exit is Dino Hanley's advantage over Nick Mallow. His tyres in Mallows are a little bit dancy at the end of it, so the ARB is just not tuned at the moment, I would say, for Nick Mallow. But under the weather is the man in 4th place. So Dino's got to get a gallop on here and get a run if he possibly can. He's got a good one here. Mallow's gone half defensive. So Dino will see this and get up the inside if he possibly can, go for the switchback. But Nick Mallow is a great defensive driver. In fact, but not good enough, because there goes Dean again, tussling for places here, P4 and 5. Is this a game of chess that we're going to see here? Is Nick Mallow going to try and get it on the last lap and get the suck? Get across, Dino, for fuck's sake. No, he's not going to get there. Nick Mallow's got enough room there. Too early for Nick Mallow was that, because that right up the inside. Here he goes again. Could have been defensive, but didn't go hard enough there, Dino. Kirsty, that's another slap on the cock, I reckon. But let's see what he can do here. Can he get the move back? He is right side by side with him. In fact, they're side by side again. Don't go too hard on the brakes. Just apex brake. Yes, he does. He checks him up mid-corner. Beautiful defensive driving courtesy of Zach O'Reilly's school, and he's done it. He's got 4th place. Can he keep it there? 10 minutes to go. And look who's come into the party here. Mr. Cordham is right in sync with this one. He's going to taste a P5 or 4 himself if these guys keep battling and something happens.
All 3 of these guys getting stuck into each other, but we'll keep one eye on that battle because it's heating up down here as well. The chef on his old mate from Rangiart, Jason McFadden, who's made his way up to 10th position after all this safety car mayhem that we've seen in the last 15 minutes. It's really thrown a cat amongst the proverbial pigeons out here at the bend here at race round 4, the Enduro round. We've seen a topsy-turvy finish to this race, and I'm all for it. It's fantastic to see. Junior Ferguson, however, has just come out of nowhere, and now he's putting pressure on Scott Cordham. He's going to go up the inside here at turn 15 or 16. That's a great move there. He's just got to consolidate it now. Scott Cordham not particularly in the mood to fight it back yet. I think he knows if he just holds on to the back of him and can be there for that final turn, he can get the advantage of the suck. But look at that. As you can see, the body language of that Camaro of Scott Cordham just getting all sorts of sideways on the exit of that one. But Ferguson just missing his apex there, hitting the sausage. You don't want to be hitting the sausages too early. About 9 minutes from now, you get the old sausages out of the pan and have a good old feast for dinner. You deserve it. Every one of these blokes out there at the moment has deserved a nice old Bunnings sausage for dinner. Don't you worry about that. But here we go. Here's McFadden. Oh, Pearso just sort of driving across when there was a little bit of an overlap. We might see a send here from McFadden. Both of these guys on the anchors at exactly the same time. Pearso going a little bit of the wider out option. They come together. You can see it coming from a mile back. But I don't know who's at fault there. Maybe just a little bit of 2 drivers wanting a bit of the same piece of road. But it's Cookie there now. We're going to ride on board with him, just getting up the inside of Pierce. Great driving there from both of these guys. The awareness is great. The vision is gone because we can hardly see the thing now. It's getting as dark as the bloody Antarctic. Or the Arctic Circle in winter. It's absolutely insane out there at the moment. 7 minutes to go, Zach O'Reilly. This is the battle of the century happening now.
Yeah, if you thought this race was going to be as boring as a rocking horse's arsehole, you are completely wrong. It is getting as dark as a horse's bum at the moment too. You can see them all with the headlights ablaze and the air is starting to come in. This is a battle of attrition at the moment. Who's got the best rhythm? Who's got the best following skills of the car in front without getting too caught up in what they're doing and be a monkey see, monkey do action? That is what we want to see here, ladies and gentlemen. A cracking finish to this one. You can see Jack Ferguson now only 2/10 away also on that soft compound, charging through the field on Nick Mallow at the moment in 5th place. And it's cracking to see these guys. Look at Grant. He's all over it's getting hounded at the moment. All over the back of him is Dion Clerk here on the soft compound as well. What a recovery from Dion.
Yeah.
Had to send a drive through and he's back up here with the chance to grab the top 10 as well, because he's got Grant, Cook and Pierce all fighting over each other. McFadden's only a second up the road as well. And if these guys in front, you can see battling away, going defensive, it's on. Fergo's got past Nick Mallow too here at the death as well. So great driving here from Jack Ferguson in front. His dad, Andrew, will be cheering to the high heavens.
Yeah.
It's not a podium. It's a top 5 at the moment here for Fergo, but that's probably about the same here, I reckon, in Enduro. Anything inside the top 5 is worthy of partying on.
No.
But no, don't get overcook it there, Jack. No, he doesn't. It looks like he does with those soft tyres on the car. Pull it up in a whisker, and that is it. Nick Mallow, unfortunately, going back here at a rate of knots. He's getting done here, and now he's only got 8 tenths of a second, 9 tenths between himself and Scotty Cordham, who's going to probably be wanting to get 6th place as well. Grant and Clerk battle is done. That is it. And look out for this one. Chef versus Pearso. This is spicy. I'll tell you what, Rangout versus Australia versus New Zealand. The Sheep Shaggers versus the Kangaroo Rooters having a good old tussle, but they're not getting the job done because the Sheep Shagger plunges it up the inside on the slide too. Doesn't make contact at all. How the hell they got out of that one alive, I'll never know, but it's still, again, like 2x2, side by side, Noah's Ark style again, and they're racing hammer and tong here. 5 minutes 41 left. There is nothing but orange in the sky, and there is absolutely nothing but action on the track here. These guys are looking into the Oracle's torch and seeing nothing. They're sort of Stevie Wondering themselves around here this circuit at the moment. but it is racing like absolutely nothing we've seen before. Soft compound tyres for the chef. Can he get past PSO and a rate of knots? I hope so, because at this stage, he's come back from nowhere too as a chef, well and truly undercooked, but he's getting those fired up saucepans at the moment and getting that medium rare T-bone up for a good old P11, I'll tell you what.
He's certainly on the sizzle at the moment, just waiting for that the microwave ding to go off. And
Chef Mike.
we can start to enjoy the feast. But Pierso wants to hold that off. He's going to go on a bit of a fast here if he can. Not just in the figuratively speaking, but metaphorically. But there he goes off the track there. There'll be no fasting for Pierso. It's more of a slowing reaction. And Ron Marshall goes bang with the $10 super chat. Thank you. Nice calling. He says it's easy to call when the action's just like this. It's just everywhere you look. It's fucking going off. It's fantastic to see up the front. However, the gaps are all at about 3 and a bit seconds. I'll tell you what, the big surprise is this man on screen who's done an absolute a strategical masterclass. I don't know if there's a superlative to give that it's above the masterclass tier. Is there anything better than a masterclass? He's come from absolutely nowhere, and he's now found himself in the top 5, and I don't think anyone's going to catch him here as well. He's doing fantastic pace here at the moment. 154.9 was his last go around. Nick Mello with the 156.2, so he's like 1.5 seconds quicker than that, and maybe even a chance of catching up to Dean Hanley, who you can see is only about 4 seconds down the road. Mind you, there's probably only about 2 laps to go in this race. Matt Cotter is in the lead, mind you. He's got 3 seconds to Daniel Cicluna. Alex McEwen, we've hardly called him all night. He's had a bit of a quiet one, but he'll be happy with that. 3rd position is good points nonetheless. Dean Hanley, cracking result for him, and also Junior Ferguson. But down here, there's a little battle now. Dion Clerk and his teammate Ezra Simons battling out for the battle of the Toyotas.
We've got absolutely nothing but 3 minutes of racing and probably a minute and a half before it gets real dark out here at the moment. These guys are going hammer and tong, and it is 2 Toyotas battling it out for the top 15 at this stage. Who's going to get the chockies? Is it Dion or is it Ezra? We'll find out very, very shortly. 2 ripping young blokes as well off circuit. Very, very funny man is Ezra Simons. Just gets excited when the old male genders start coming out. Oh, no, that's Lachlan Grant. What's happened to Lachlan Grant? Oh, just bended off the edge of the track, and he's lost all those places too, so it's now definitely 13th and 14th for Toyota. A good showing from them, but poor Lachlan Grant, he was on there, but look at this, fuck off. He's telling DeLuca to do exactly that at the moment. He's going to go straight past him up the inside, and he's going to do what his last name does into the distance, and you know what I mean there. SCT, 17th now, and 4th on the racetrack. Great stuff from these 2 boyos, but it is now a rate of knots, and look out, DeLuca's getting done here by Scotty Garrick too, coming at 100 mile an hour is Scotty. Poor old disconnection for Scott. Yeah. And that sent him back down the grid, and he's battling over the minor places, but still knows he's got the pace, so he'll come back rip-roaring for the next one. But at the moment, 2 minutes left in this one. This is going to be the last lap of the race. I can tell you that second last lap, sorry. The next one around will be the last because Matt Cotter is entering into turn 10, I think, at the moment. And with 1:52, that's less than a lap time left in this one. And I think it's going to come at the nick of time here for the darkness just to set and go completely here at the bend. Wow, I tell you what, South Australia, you're about 1,000 kilometres closer to the sun than what Victoria is, and it doesn't get dark here till 6 o'clock. What's going on?
Yeah, maybe the time's mixed up there. But then again, it is a European game, so I'd expect them to not know a hell of a lot about the time zones here in Australia. But, they could do better with that. Maybe it's the winter. Maybe it's just looks a bit darker on your screen. In any case, you've got a brightness control there on your monitors. Just flick it up for the last minute because this is now the final lap of the race. Matt Cotter is in the lead. Is there any battles that will be coming up? There is not, so we're going to just keep it on the man of the moment here, Matt Cotter. He started off the race in the lead, and he led for all of the first stint, basically. He went probably about 6 or 7 laps too far in that first stint where we saw Daniel Cicluna and Alex McEwen both take that opportunity for the undercut. And it turns out that was great vision from those two boys, because when they came back out on the track after everything that was said and done and the first round of pit stops, they found themselves about 30 seconds in front of this guy on the screen at the moment. And we thought, well, there's absolutely no way that he can make that gap come back into his favour. But I tell you what, with a bit of tenacity and a bit of right foot control, as we've seen from Matt Cotter, he has brought that party back to the front of the race. Mind you, albeit with about 4 safety cars in the end of this race, that really brought the playing field back to a level one. And in close quarters racing situation in a restart, whether it be off the start of a stop-start grid or a safety car restart, there is no more dangerous than a driver than Matt Cotter. You don't want to see that number 99 behind you on any sort of restart, because he will send it, and there is no doubt about his ability in the overtaking department, and we've seen that on show tonight. He really took advantage of just complacency there from the front from Daniel Cicluna. He led him up the inside. He didn't have to give him a second opportunity, because that was the move that brought him to the front of the field and to take the victory here at the Bend Motorsport Park. That's the win there for Matt Cotter here in round 4. Beautifully done, and albeit with a bit of a luck from the safety car, but that is how the cookie crumbles here in racing. Daniel Cicluna will stop by and give him a little thumbs up here on the way through. Alex McEwen finishing off in 3rd position. That's your podium, ladies and gentlemen. Cracking racing all round. Dean Hanley in 4th.
Cracking stuff from all the top 3, and Dino, he'll probably be getting some leg rolling over later on, I reckon, after that performance. And tell you what, Jack Ferguson in 5th, driver of the night for me. That is cracking stuff from him. Well done, Jack. Nick Mallow, 6th place as well. Driver of the day goes to this man, as we see on the screen there. Nick Mallow, 6th place. Mr. Cordham, 7th as well. He'll be happy about that one too. I'll give you the hot tip. He thought he was nowhere at the start of this one, and he predicted that if I get inside the top 10, that's a good thing, and that's where he is. Dr. Elliott in 8th. Nice showing from him. Jason McFadden. So 2 Rangyard boys line astern in that 9th place for McFadden. And Jesse Marshall did get himself in the top 10. Ron Marshall will be absolutely stoked. That is a cracking drive from him overall. The chef in 11th. Brandon Pierce, a semi maybe celebratory 12th place after all he's gone through. Ezra Simons, however, will be knowing nothing about how he got through that into 13th place. But he got there with his teammate Dion Clerk behind him in 14th. Grant, 15th place as well, with Nielsen, Goff, DeLuca, and an unfortunate disconnection for Scotty Garrick in the end, rounding him as dead last, but had the pace to be on. But with Harley Marshall, Nielsen, Hughes, Benny Aspinall DNFing out of that one, it brought safety cars, and all the safety cars came to fruition as the tyres are dead as a doornail. And Matt Cotter, he's not going to be able to get back to the pits here with that sort of behaviour as the sparks fly off celebratory donuts. And why not? There goes both of them. Now they're both stuffed at 100%. Look at it go. Beautiful smoke signals and sparkies. That is a drive that I have not seen in a while, Christopher Munro. Safety cars aside, he put his money where his mouth is, and when it was all evened out, still showed us that he had the pace to be the winner, and that's what we got.
You got to take the opportunities when they arise, and he's proven time and time again that if you give him half a sniff, he's going to take the whole line up that nostril. Left or right, he doesn't care. He'll go up both, mate. You give him an opportunity, he'll be sticking that $50 note right up there. But tell you what, deserved win. He's been consistent all through practice and qualifying, so it's been great to see. Hard luck for Daniel Cicluna, though. Had shown the pace, obviously. Quickest during the week in practice. Couldn't quite pop it on pole position, but stayed with Cotter for the first bit. I'll tell you what, I do love a bit of a mix-up in the strategical department. He tried it, and given the fact that we did see those late safety cars, without those he would have been all over bar the shouting, but would have been a boring race to watch as well, ladies and gentlemen at home. But so we got the addition of some fantastic racing towards the end. And as the darkness descends over the Bend Motorsport Park, we can see the boys just lighting them up here on the main straight. That is, if you can see that. It's pretty much dead set nighttime here at Adelaide. So we might wrap it up there, Zach O'Reilly.
Yeah, well, they're doing donuts. They're doing celebratory stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. And why not? It has been one of those races that just had everything. Safety cars, incidents often on the circuit. We had disconnections. We had VR headsets failing for Nathan Hughes as well. That's what brought the first one.
Yep.
Disconnections for Scotty Garrick, and just dead set bad luck for Benny Asplin as well, with Alan Nielsen too. But that is an Enduro, and 2 hours did not disappoint. If we had any shorter, we would not have got what we got there for that finish, and it was a barnstormer. Absolutely sensational. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in tonight, everyone who pressed like and subscribe. We had a couple of yous do so thank you for that. And most of all, thank you to every single one of yous who have sent through a super chat tonight. You know exactly who you are, a la Ron Marshall. We've got Benny Logan, Hanley and Liam. We've got Kirsty as well. We've got Fabian Fitness there too. Also with a double donation, triple donation actually too, from Liam as well. Matthew Munro also cracking stuff, and that was an event that goes down in the ages, I would say, as one of the best races I've seen and commentated for the Gen 3 Supercars. But for us here now, Christopher Munro, it has been one of the best racing calls that we have done. The head of the cheese board himself, Mr. Munro, is himself, puts the magnificent in M. I've been Zach O'Reilly, and guess what? You're not. But for us here at SimSational TV, it is goodbye, good night. Love yous all. We'll see you on Wednesday for the Wednesday Cup. Actually, we'll see you tomorrow night for LMU, and then Wednesday for Wednesday Cup as well. But as always here, it's goodbye. Keep it flat out.